Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, what am I going to be? Your friendly chronicler of Nemedia today, because today we are returning to the Hyborian world of Conan with another session, of Mongoose Publishing's outstanding Conan the Roleplaying Game. And with me today are two Hyborian heroes themselves, who will be joining me back for part 2 of A Princess of Shem. First up, I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? First up, we have our resident armor smith and forger of Akbatanian steel, Dave.
Thank you, Kev. I'm here for what is best in life, and I am playing Hakon Doomwinter, barbarian and borderer, and saver of children from fiends.
Nice. And joining him is Jamie.
Hey everybody, I am Jamie. I'm playing Sir Isidore. He is a Numidian noble soldier and a professional knight, if you will.
Very nice. Now, because we play Conan so infrequently, we have a custom where every Conan session begins with an invocation of the Nemedian Chronicle. If we continue playing this on a regular basis, we may decide to abandon this tradition, as it does, I'm sure, get tedious at some point. But for today, first Conan session of the new year. Know, O Prince, that between the years when the oceans drank Atlantis and the gleaming cities, and the years of the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of, when shining kingdoms lay spread across the world like blue mantles beneath the stars. Nemedia, Ophir, Brithunia, Hyperborea, Zamora with its dark-haired women and towers of spider-haunted mystery, Zingara with its chivalry, Koth, that bordered on the pastoral lands of Shem, Stygia, with its shadow-guarded tombs, Hyrcania, whose riders wore steel and silk and gold. But proudest kingdom of the world was Aquilonia, reigning supreme in the dreaming west. Hither came Conan, the Cimmerian, black-haired, sullen-eyed, sword in hand, a thief, a reaver, a slayer, with gigantic melancholies and gigantic mirth, to tread the jeweled thrones of the earth under his sandaled feet. And with that, guys, what happened to our Hyborian heroes last time? And I can use some visual aids here to assist you in charting what has come before.
I know Gabal here, we encountered, he was a merchant whose caravan was attacked. He survived, and we came across him and tried to help him.
You actually saved him from death.
Yeah, so he was ingratiated to us and spoke of, I forget the city name again.
Akbatana,
where he was kind of a big deal, and we believed him and followed to the city gates, where we were questioned somewhat, and under disguise found our way into the city and to his residence, where we had a great feast and celebration with him and his wife, I think Jamila.
Yes.
Is that right? And she gave us some information about some Pelishtims and other folks in the city who could potentially help us with learning a little bit more about sorcery. And also, I believe Hakon had a sword chartered to be made by a smith here in town. And I believe we maybe celebrated a little too hard that first night, and in the night Hakon had a dream of this girl. Hakon, maybe you want to tell about your dream.
So the dream was took place at a place that Hakon hadn't seen in years, a place where he used to play when he was younger, where his brother had been laid to rest. And it was strange. Not only was he there in his dream, but the girl had eyes that were not common among the Aesir or Nordheimers. So it was very strange because we saw her in the market the next day being chased by 10 thugs. We're going to call them thugs for lack of better terminology. To which Hakon decided to jump into action and drag potentially Sir Isidore into a scrape. I'm sure he would have. I'm sure Sir Isidore. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure Sir Isidore would have recognized that the girl was in danger and also leapt, chivalric as he is, being a noble knight. And then so we chased him into an alley, and Hakon proceeded to leap off of a second floor. Sir Isidore crashed an awning down on a bunch of them. We slew some, threatened them with some steely-eyed feat of intimidation, and in the end, a couple of them got away, but we were able to rescue the girl. And before, on our way back, just before the session ended, 4 rather imposing-looking individuals showed up, assuming they're reinforcements.
So that was
from
after
Sorcerer.
Sir Isidore had attempted something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
The girl was strange. The girl was something about the girl that she had mentioned a princess was been captured by a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Tut-Hamon. And Hakon was quite enamored by this girl and believed her and thought we should try to help the princess, but I think Sir Isidore had noticed something peculiar about her.
Yeah, there was something unnatural about her that he felt a little threatened by, or frightened of, I should say, one or the other.
Well, his knowledge of the occult was helpful too, because he provided some insight to Hakon as to what might have been happening. I think you may have said this already, Dave, but when Hakon awakened from his dream in that spring in his homeland, he awoken to be surrounded by blossoms from those same fields.
Yeah, I missed that detail, sorry.
No, that's fine. Just that was one of the things that was... He could not figure out why he both saw the girls, was back home, and then had those arrive with him too. And Sir Isidore had some ideas of what might have been happening there. And then I believe it was that you had... Let me check what we got here. Yeah, it was a crit fail on... Is that your sense motive that's caused you to spiral? Oh, yeah, because then you made a will save.
Right.
That you crit failed. There's something odd about the girl that set you off, and I think when you were staring deep in their eyes, there was some wriggling thing that sent you reeling away from her and staggering out into the street. And when Hakon came over to grab you and see what was going on, that's when you sort of looked up and saw these 4 armored figures standing before you. And with that...
And they're not like guardsmen types, right?
They are definitely not part of the militia for Akbatan. The armor that they wear is more likely Stygian. But let's click on our tokens and roll some initiative. Because there is intimidation that may need to be done here. Oh, man. Sorry for that, guys. Oh, boy.
We are prepared for your sorry.
That is
answer back with
24.
apologies of our own.
Oh, yeah. I got a 24 for mine in total. So,
dang.
Yeah, sorry. I rolled a 19, and they have a +6 to their initiative, so... I'll put put these guys over here, and I'll get rid of the bar so I don't accidentally kill my initiative tracker, which I will otherwise be guaranteed to do. All right. There we go. Now, a fresh start to a fresh session and a fresh new year. Anyone want to spend a fate point? Re-roll. Now, remember, if you spend a fate point, you get to add plus 10. I did roll pretty great. How'd you guys do here?
I rolled an 18 and Sir Isidore rolled a 19.
Yeah, so it's not really a lot better that can go on here. All right, so then here's what I'm going to do. Is the... For four of them, it's almost like there's a hush that falls over the area here. One of them raises up, and they have like a long sword or something in their hand, I think, in these illustrations. But you can picture that each of them wields a khopesh instead, the hooked blade characteristic of Stygia. One of them points the sword towards you, and simply says, "Leave the girl." And it echoes within their masked helmet. And I'm going to make a demoralized check against you two. So would you guys each give us 1d20 plus your level plus your wisdom bonus. So you'll be each fifth level. That'll be 5 plus whatever your wisdom bonuses are. Oops, and I got 16. That's 19. I got a 24. Nice, Hack, a nat 20.
Right,
I think with your nat 20, Sir Isidore, why don't you re-roll?
Okay.
15. So, Sir Isidore, once again, unfortunately, you're going to be starting off shaken. -2 penalty on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. But it's only for one round. So they say simply, "Leave the girl." You can imagine there is a gap of about maybe 20 feet between the two of you. The streets are strangely empty at this point. Hacken, I've got your character sheets right here. Yeah, Hacken's got the higher dex, so you're up first. Hacken, what are you doing?
Hacken pulls out his greatsword. It's like, "The girl stays with us. Leave with your lives."
You want to try and demoralize back?
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus. I'm glad I'm getting these 19s out of the way now.
Sorry, an intimidate roll?
Thing. Yeah, I'll be intimidate. 12.
I'm not easily demoralized, but I'm not so demoralizing.
Yeah, so you say that, Sir Isidore. They don't seem to flinch.
I am going to prepare to parry them should they attack us.
Okay.
I think the Sundering Parry might be the thought here.
So that, if you want to spend a couple ways you can do this. For one, if you wish to fight defensively, say, you can just add to your defenses. So you can subtract. If you're going full defense, that adds... Let's see, is it on my Game Master screen here? It is not. Okay. I think total defense adds +4 to all your defenses. Sundering Parry, what you need is the improved Sunder feat in order to have access to that talent.
Okay.
But what you can do is spend a fate point to gain that feat for... I'm just double checking the prereqs for it. Improved Sunder... Yeah, it's strength 13 power attack. You qualify for both. If that's what you want, then you would have it for the entire round or entire encounter.
I will spend the point.
Okay. That doesn't cost you anything, so you could otherwise, if you'd like to just jump in and make an attack, you can certainly do that, or you can just fight defensively, or rather go on full defense for this round, wait to see what they do, in which case, full defense. So you count as +4 to your defenses, so both parry and dodge. I take it you got your shield out as well?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's like 23 is your parry right now?
Where is parry on the sheet, actually?
Parry, I think, is midway through. You do have access to the PDF version as well in Roll20, and it's posted to...
Okay, it's 15.
It's 15 without your shield.
Without the shield, yeah.
Yeah, with your shield, you grant another +4 to your defenses, and then the extra +4 from full defense. Just double checking where that is.
And then I think I'm -2 because I'm still affected by the... Okay.
Oh, yeah. So fighting defensively... Okay, so there's a difference between fighting defensively and going full defense. Fighting defensively is -4 on your attacks and +2 to your defense, but if you're going full defense... That, I believe, is +4. Let's move actions. Total defense is called. Yeah, +4, +4. But that's actually a standard action, not a full round. You could still move if you choose to.
I'll move between them and the girl, because I imagine I was moved away after my reaction from before. So
yeah. So you position yourself back, shield up, full defense. Their turn. They simply say, fools. Though they say it in Stygian. So only Sir Isidore understands them. And then they rush in. So we'll have 2 on each of you to get that sweet, sweet Conan gang up bonus. And let's see. So first we'll come in swinging. And let me just take this on my screen here. Where are you? Oh yeah, the weapons aren't on here. I was running Warhammer Fantasy 4th this morning, and I'm spoiled by the screen on that one. It's anything you conceivably want as a GM is right on the screen. Skill list, weapons, conditions. It's just fucking awesome. Okay, here we go. All right, so the 2 come in, and Hacken, are you parrying or dodging? Dodge is a 16, parry is a 15.
I will dodgy dodge.
Dodgy dodge, all right. So I have +7 to hit you from the gang up, which means I need a 9 or higher to hit you.
Yikes.
And both of those manage to connect. Yeah. And you take... Here we go. That is 6 points of damage from the first... and 5 points of damage from the second. Fortunately, neither of those were crits or possible crits. Yeah, these ones are definitely more skilled than the caravan thugs that you faced before. Sir Isidore, against you, I'm assuming you're parrying, and it's a 23 you have right now. So I need a 16 or higher to hit you. Yeah. One of them does get through, and it's a crit, potential crit, not actual crit. Fuck, I rolled a nat 20 to confirm crit. All right, so it'll be double this. You take 18 points of damage as you defend, and one gets and you can tell this is a lucky stroke. A sword just kind of goes by and cuts you on the side. Hakon, you see this. Now, is there? Let's see here. Any fate point thing you can do? No. That was actually no. There is not. All right.
Does my token appear updated to you?
It does. Yeah. Not to you.
No, but just as long as you can see it.
No, it's sometimes we just let me do this and then do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Then it is Hakon's turn. You can see, you hear the cry out from your comrade as one of these guards manages to avoid his defenses. What are you doing?
I'm going to power attack one of the fools in front of me.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it like that because that's what Hakon says.
Okay. They are going to parry. Go right ahead now. You're using your greatsword, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so AP
I put
9.
the -3 mod in
Yeah.
on my temporary modifier.
And then it'll add +6 to damage. Do you have a way of adding a temp mod for damage? That is 13. That is going to be a miss. He will parry that. Would you like to fate point that?
I will fate point the hell out of that.
Go right ahead. So I'm going to re-roll if your dice roll is less than 19. That is definitely good enough. What'd you roll? 10? A 5. Nope.
I rolled a 10.
No, 10. Okay. Yeah, so that is definitely good enough. Wait, hold on. Did it? If you rolled a 10, that should have been a 13 or 16 then. Right? Because you're
-3 from the power attack.
right, but that's what I'm saying. It should have been a 16 then, no? Because if you rolled
10 plus 5. And my strength bonus is a 4.
yeah, so like normally you have +9 to hit, but with a -3 from power attack, that should have been a. Oh, but hold on. You rolled a 10. You spent a fate point so that you had 10 to the result. That's a That's actually a 29. So it should be a 26. It's not applying the modifier, the minus.
Odd.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
weird. I don't know why that. Let's see here.
Maybe I'll just roll them straight up and we can just do the math for the power attack on.
Yeah, that's. Oh, you know that? Did you? I don't see any temp mod unless you removed it.
I just removed it just now, just thinking of it. Maybe it wasn't updating.
Let me try here. 7 plus 5 is 12. Yeah, so 19. It's still. Yeah, why is it doing that?
I'll close my sheet and open it again.
No, I mean I just opened yours up now, so it shouldn't have. Like I don't know why it's not applying the proper modifier. 10, 5, 15. Yeah, see, I don't know. It's just, so I guess we'll just that button doesn't seem to be working. So that's good to know. But
Base
in any
attack.
event, that second one is a hit in any event. So go ahead and roll damage +6 to damage.
Okay, so damage, slashing, greatsword, +6.
Oh, 30 points of damage. Damn. And you ignore. So I want you to appreciate just how fucking bad. They have 10 points of DR because of the armor they've got on.
Wow.
That is
So
reduced by
that.
9 because of your AP with your greatsword. And then we add. So it's only 1 point of armor. So you take 29 points of damage with your attack. With a single sweep, and you can cleave as well.
Oh yeah, let's cleave. Let's. So power attacking still at -3, so it's whatever this is.
Yep. Holy smokes! 13.
Goodness.
That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
And damage roll.
Is +6. Oh. So that is 16 total, which means it's 15 after your power attack. So you cut through one of them and you send the other one kind of staggering back
And then I just laugh menacingly.
Nice. Sir Isidore.
Oh, Sir Isidore is in trouble here. Is he able to use his healer's kit during combat, or is
Not
that
during
something that
combat,
would be
no.
out of combat? Okay.
Just stay alive, man. Stay alive.
Yeah, I think that he'll use his combat expertise here, and he'll put a -4 towards his defense and from his attack roll here.
Okay. So -4 to hit, +4 to your defenses this round.
Okay. He is going to try his broadsword.
Okay.
And let's see.
Come on, big money.
Where was the
Time to crush your enemies.
It'll be
roll?
your standard melee attack. That's what
There it
you.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice job. It's even with -4. That's still a 19. So Isidore, he cuts you, but you are able to easily respond in kind. Go ahead and roll damage. Your broadsword is an AP 6. So that's -4. So 8 points of damage. Yeah, you hear, though they may have seemed inhuman and legion, the blood you draw and the sound of pain that escapes from behind that mask tells you you face mere mortal men. Then you could move, I suppose, as well, but
I think he'll stay put and repeat in Stygian back to them. I believe you are the fools here.
All right. And as a reminder too, one of the things you could do is spend fate point to gain the steely gaze feat.
Yeah.
And make a demoralized check.
Let's do that. Absolutely. That sounds
So give us an intimidation check, please.
okay.
I think you should have 2 left. And oof, I did not roll well for them. Yeah, so they're at -2. They're demoralized for this round. They realize now they really shouldn't have hurt you. All right, Hakon, you have one facing you. He is going to... I'm just going to try and hurt you again. So your parry is a 6. He's down to only one of them, so I need a 10 to hit you now. And my 6 will not do it. So you smash into him. He tries to reply in kind, and, with a pantherous twist, you twist to the side and dodge his riposte with his Kopesh. And then these guys are at -2 to hit you, Sir Isidore. So I currently need an 18 to hit you. So they push the attack. Neither of those is going to do it. So you batter it to the side, and now you've got the measure of them as opponents. Hakon, what are you doing?
Is there a way that he can move between the foes so that he can still attack the one that's wounded, but maybe
like cleave into the other one? No, I think
you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That does seem like a very what do you call it, Conan thing to do. So that's fine as long as you're not making a multiple attacks. You can easily shift over between the two and go right ahead.
Okay, so he'll power attack again with a -3.
Okay.
Say it before you roll it.
-3 is a 19. That is still a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. 13, eh? That's 12 points of damage. That is sufficient to get through you. Because you got AP 9 with your great sword. So you go ahead and cleave through to the other.
Okay. Well, bam.
That is an 18 on the nose. I think that is just enough to break through his defenses.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage. 18, eh? So that's 17 points of damage.
Man.
Oh. Then it is Sir Isidore's turn. They are no longer outnumbering you.
Yeah, I think Sir Isidore might be emboldened to attempt a two-weapon attack.
Oh, smash with the shield and the weapon?
Yes.
Yep.
So he's going to target the one that he hit the first time with the sword again.
Yeah, and I think you don't with... Oh, so the shield is not a light weapon, which means you would take -4 to each of these.
Oh, to each of these?
Yeah.
Can he drop his shield and pull out his Ganada knife?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As you hit, you can cast it aside, draw your Ganada knife out, and then it's no penalty whatsoever.
Okay. That's what he'll try.
Okay.
First with the broadsword.
Go right ahead.
Terrible.
You want to fate point that?
Yes.
Okay.
Try again.
Yeah, that's a hit.
A little better.
Go ahead and roll.
All right.
17, jeez. I gotta check because the Ganada knife, I think, has a crit on... Oh, broadsword has a crit on a 19 or better. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
For your broadsword. 7. And it's AP 6. So you hit them, but they are quite heavily armored. And then your Ganada knife.
All right.
Now let me actually, before you roll, let me give you an option here. So with the Ganada knife, because the Ganada knife is a finesse weapon, what you can choose to do is use your dexterity to attack instead. And then if you beat their defense by an amount equal to their armor, you ignore the AP for it. Now the trouble is these guys have 10 DR armor, so you would need to beat it by 10, and you'd have 1 less because your dex is 1 less in your strength. So you have 1 less to hit. But that is an option to try and, rather than trying to brute force your way through.
Find a chink in the armor.
Yeah, let's see if we can find, that opening, that
Okay.
little opening there.
So then it'll be basically make your standard melee attack. We'll subtract 1 from it because your dex is 1 less, and you need to beat it by quite a bit. But let's see. So that's not even... He's able to parry that. Now you could fate point that as well, if you wish, or...
No, I think he'll hang on to that last fate point for the moment.
Okay. Then, let's see here. The other... Where is it here? Now that this terrifying Nordheimer has come in. Not that you're not terrifying yourself, Sir Isidore. You're the one who has chilled the blood of at least 2 groups of enemies thus far. Tempering their battle lust.
I make the threats and Haken makes them pay.
Here's what I'm looking for. Okay. And... Okay. The one that you hit there, Haken, he turns to you. He adjusts something on his bracer and then gestures. And there is a fine powder that comes out into your face. Would you give us a reflex save, please?
I don't think that looks very good. I'm going to reroll.
Fate point that? You got it.
Oh!
But you got plus 10 to that, remember? So that'd be a 23.
Oh, right.
Because you rolled a 4 on that.
Why is it putting a -5 on everything?
I have no idea what the... Oh, because of your... I think it's your stat. Divide by 2 minus 5. Because that's how... Like, 16 divided by 2 is 8, minus 5 is 3. It's a plus 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just showing them how they did the calculation for your stat bonus.
Or they get the ability modifier? Okay.
Yeah. So, so with that, Hakon, you were able to, and the sorceress trick that this thing tried to pull on you failed. Sir Isidore, should we do the same thing on you? Let's do that. Would you give us a reflex save, please?
Because Kev wants to see this powder work.
Oh, no!
He might. Oh, man. I think I will spend the last fate point this time.
Okay.
Try one more time.
Dear people in chat, Kev's exhausting our fate points, and we're only 45 minutes in.
Yeah, really. Sign of a good session. All right, so that is unfortunately not a good... Oh, no, but you add plus 10 to that, so it's 23. So that... Wait, did you roll less than 5? Yeah, you roll a 10, so that'll be 23. So you're able to, likewise, get your shield up, and the powder dissipates over your shield on their turn. Then Hakon, it is your turn.
What is best in life? To power attack your enemies. See them driven before you. I will do... Hey, you know what? It's been working. -3 on the power attack.
Okay.
Oh, wham. Oh. Exhausting all of our fate points. Here, roll 20. We're now 45 minutes in, and we both have 0 fate points.
Yeah.
But we're heroic, and we will not go down without a fight.
There you go. So that's a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. We had +6 to this.
Damage roll.
So 28 -1. All right,
Wow.
so go ahead and cleave. It's a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage for your second one.
Come on.
21 plus that is 27. That's... Ah! So you power both of them down. And then... Covered in blood, Sir Isidore wounded slightly. Now, this is where you could...
starting to stink of the dead.
Make a heal check on one another and try and restore 5 hit points each. Because you guys are 5th level? Yeah, 5th level.
Heal check?
Goodness.
Yeah, first aid is a DC 15.
Oh, you have to wrap the bandages this way, my friend.
Yes, so Hakon, you succeeded, which means, Sir Isidore, you're going to recover your level plus your constitution modifier. So that's 5 points back for you.
5 plus 0? So, got it.
Unfortunately, Sir Isidore's was not as effective.
He was bleeding.
Mm-hmm. And you each get a fate point for having defeated those adversaries. So, panting, you turn around, and the girl, her eyes are welling up with tears at this point, and she says, "The sorcerer seeks me. He has the princess. He will sacrifice her."
Is she carrying or wearing anything noticeable beyond her cloak?
Why don't you give us a search check there, Sir Isidore?
Okay.
You're gonna get a bare minimum out of this, but I just want to see how good. Okay. So if you're looking over what you can see, the thing that is obvious, apart from like her wearing some fairly worn Nordheimer clothing, you can see the distinctive red markings of either shackles or some other kind of binding around her arms. This girl definitely was being held as a captive of some kind or another, whether that is a slave or as a prisoner. One cannot tell. There is a sound of kind of hubbub going about in the streets here too.
We need to get out of this alley.
Agreed.
Let's take a look at the map of Akbatana once again, because it is a really cool map.
as much as I want to see the Smiths.
And as a reminder, this is what towers over you this entire time.
Ziggurat.
The colossal ziggurat of Ishtar.
Perhaps we return to our host and
Lay low.
rest up a bit.
I agree. We'll stick to the alleys and try to find our way back.
Now, which... let's see here. Sir Isidore... What I'm thinking is this is probably a hide and a...
Maybe knowledge local? Or?
I knowledge local, definitely. So who would like to be the lead on this one, and who would like to assist? Remember, assisting is a DC 10 in this game.
Are there any coin on these guys?
Yeah, you were given... Jamila gave you some, spending coin.
No, on these... now 14 people who've attacked us. I'm just thinking we might need to, if they have any coin on them, maybe we can give it to our hosts. And
there is nothing on there, but you know what? Why don't, Sir Isidore, why don't you... Actually, you each have training in this. Why don't you each give us a... I think knowledge history for you, Sir Isidore, and knowledge local for you, Hakon. Please. All right, so Hakon, perhaps Sir Isidore, you're apart from these this armor being Stygian in origin, you have no further insight into this, but Hakon, what you can tell is that this is definitely not. This has markings on it, on the armor, that are distinctly Shemitic, as opposed to Stygian, suggesting that these are... They are most certainly Stygian in origin. Their fighting style, making use of the Kopesh, is something that Stygian infantry and nobility make regular use of. But the fact that they have markings of that you saw in the marketplace and in your way in that relate to different trading houses suggests that these may have exactly Shemitic masters. This may not be someone who is just passing through, but may be an inhabitant of the city.
We should be stealthy in our return to our host. These individuals appear to have Shemitic masters, and perhaps their locals have spies elsewhere.
I think you've already sort of also flagged, with a roll that good, you've sort of flagged good watering holes to, gain information where folks like you, like, jackals on the war road, as it were, you who need to learn about local customs pretty quickly, you've identified some places where you could go, and the gather information skill is a separate skill from diplomacy in this game. So if you wish to do that and kind of get your footing better, that might be a place you could go for it. Because it seems as if these Stygian warriors certainly have made themselves comfortably locally. They definitely have Stygian origin with their armor and the way they fight. But, yeah. So.
What do you think, Sir Isidore?
I think someone's going to come looking for them, and it's going to be noticed that they've been slain. So maybe we try to hide these bodies a little bit, at least to try to delay that inevitable, and then I agree, head back to our hosts and see if we can't regroup there.
Ever the strategist, I was just going to leave these bodies rotten in the alley, but
they deserve
pile up.
They deserve no burial, but I think it best for us to delay the search.
Okay.
All right. I'll clean my sword off on one of the bodies and then put it away.
Okay.
Start dragging bodies even just to the end of the alley. And we'll just we'll toss them underneath the awning that you broke
A
earlier.
city like this, with that's this developed with a a river running through it, definitely has sewers. So you could
Deposit
most
them right where
certainly,
they belong.
yeah. So you can, I think, and also I'm kind of rolling forward. You're 22 on knowledge local. It seems that Hakon has been thinking of more, practical things as he's been making his way. Who are potential enemies? Who can I hurt without, with getting away with it? And where can I hide the bodies when I hurt them?
I almost imagined like the pool of blood that he created flowing that way, and he's looking at the sewer and realizing it all at that moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so having disposed of these 4 in the sewers, and I think because you're a little injured, Sir Isidore, perhaps, and I mean, I don't mean to take away from your might either. Strength 16 is nothing to slouch at, but Hakon's got an 18 strength and a 14 con, so he may be doing the heavy lifting while you are keeping an eye out. And
there's nothing on either these guys or the other guys that we would want, right?
that you'd want? No.
What were the other guys fighting us with?
They were fighting with like leather armor and longswords, I think.
Longswords, okay, yeah. I might want an extra knife, but
they likely have a knife or a dagger. These would have a knife on them for sure. Not a Ganada knife, but because that's an exotic weapon. A knife does 1d4 damage times 2 crit and 0 armor piercing. Let me check the difference in cost here. You know what? Oh, Dave, would you mind moving your mic just a little bit away? We're hearing a lot of breathing sounds from you.
Oh. Coolio?
It's perfect. You know what? They would be daggers. So the only difference being that the armor piercing is 1 and critical is 1920. Just got a little bit of, because they would be having a combat or like a fighting weapon rather than a knife to cut stuff up. Ooh.
All right, then I'm going to toss a dagger in each boot.
Okay.
Not toss it, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. So with them disposed of, here's the thing, Sir Isidore. To go with your unsettling sense motive from before too, there is while she still is putting on the face of kind of being upset, of being chased, this girl does not flinch at seeing these corpses dragged to the sewers and thrown down like so much rubbish. This doesn't seem to bother her in the least.
I think Sir Isidore imagines that she's seen some very terrible things and experienced some very terrible things at the hands of Tut Haman. Mm-hmm. Does she recognize them or their what they're wearing as being affiliated with him?
She says kind of flatly, they are the minions of Tut Haman.
As expected, I guess.
So with the last of them disposed of, with Hakon and his 2 new daggers, what would you guys like to do next? You've
Where
retrieved
is
your
this
shield.
Tut Haman?
His
Do you know?
homes. So your ally's home, Gabal, is in what is it? Yeah, in one of the Karoom in Choga up here, near one of the big artificial lakes that's created in here.
Yeah. Does she have any idea where Tut Haman is?
She does. Hatu Sas down here. Oh, sorry. This no. He would be in the Karoom district as well. So the Hatusas is where you guys were when you were seeing the swordsman.
Myths are, right?
Yeah. It would be Kuyesh, near the aqueduct.
All right. As much as I want to see the Smiths, I think it's time to return to Gabal's place.
Okay.
Agreed.
Ben, what is the strategy for returning to Gabal's home?
I think we want to stay in the alleys still for a bit until we get some distance between us and these last couple of encounters, and then maybe get into the main roadways to try to get ourselves back as quick as possible from there.
I might need to wash off a little bit, so
Yeah.
find a barrel of stale water or rainwater somewhere.
Or one of the pools near the
Dunk my head in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can easily. Hakon, why don't you give us a hide check? We'll use this both to sort of see if you draw any attention while you are washing yourself off, and we'll use it as the aid for Sir Isidore. Yeah, so that's no problem. You're able to find a place, and you don't draw any more attention than what a stinking northerner would in any event. Wash yourself off, and you can see that like some. I guess someone whoever owns the barrel kind of comes outside the shop, is like, and about to say something, and sees who it is, and is like, goes back inside their shop without objecting. Sir Isidore, if you wish to try and get through the alleyways, let's set the DC as, I think it's only going to be a 14. So why don't you give us a knowledge local at +2? I guess we could just say 12 is the DC. So there's a near miss where there is some place where like a bunch of the militia, just as you're leaving the Sword District, when there's a bunch that come walking past. Are you bringing the girl with you?
Oh yes, I think so. Absolutely. We still have to speak with her, I think.
Okay. All right. So it is not long before you return to Gabal's manor. Now, tell us how you choose to make your way back inside? Are you planning on just going in the front door and going directly to your manor? Do you tell them that you have this girl with you? What's the thought? You would know, Sir Isidore, it is likely that the servants would inform Jamila. If Gabal may be off dealing with, trying to recover from the losses that were occasioned when he was attacked by those Meadow Shemites, agents of his enemies, he says. But Jamila may still be in the home during the day.
I think we'll maybe knock and immediately try to open the door, just to let them know that we're in and back, and then even when we arrive, call out to them that we've returned.
So when you arrive, the streets of Akbatana are relatively safe during the day, but even during the day, it is wise to keep one's doors locked leading into a merchant's home. So there is a servant who answers the door. They see you, and they allow you in. They make no comment on the young girl who is with you. And it is not long before Jamila comes back to maybe if you've gone to one of the open areas that was looking out near the lake to refresh or to relax or decide what you're doing next. Jamila comes back and says, "You're back so soon. How did you find the Sword District?" And Baru preserve us. What happened to you? And who is this girl? Ava kind of shoots a look at her and tries to hide behind Hakon.
Hakon's like, well, you may find this hard to believe. No, wait. You may find this easier to believe than I found it. But last night, I dreamt of this girl. I dreamt of my homeland and I awoke with flowers in my hand from my homeland. And today we saw this girl.
Did Hakon keep any of them?
Yes, they're in his pouch.
So maybe he holds them out to, as if to emphasize like just how unreal that dream was. She makes some kind of gesture and grabs an amulet around her throat. Jamila does.
Okay. Well, wasn't thinking of that, but that's a good idea.
She looks at the girl. And where did you find her? What happened to you?
We were in the district with the Smiths. We were making our way through when some 10 thugs, tried to accost her in an alley. We leapt to her aid, and then she told us a story of a princess who's been accosted by a sorcerer named Tutamon.
Let's make a knowledge local roll for Jamila. She is 16. Wow. She grips the pendant tighter. That is a Stygian sorcerer. Come from south, who has made his home here. Is this true, girl? You belong. Is Tutamon your master? And she kind of slowly nods her head. Tutamon is... He is well respected by the Council of Akbetana. And she looks... Did you slay his men?
Several.
And then 4 armored men came before we could get back and may have slayed them as well. And they, strangely enough, were wearing Stygian armor, but we noticed Shemitic symbols on the armor. I wonder if that would be something you could help us with.
You can recognize, Hakon, that she, because you may remember one of the spends for fate points last time was to establish that Hakon actually speaks Shemitic. She curses pretty vulgarly and surprisingly for a noblewoman when you say that they have Stygian armor with symbols on it. She's like, Tutamon is a respected... You killed guards from his retinue. This... Did Eddie see you come here?
We think not, but somehow they followed us and the girl, so we're not sure.
Think carefully. And she's holding the amulet. Did they follow you? Or did they follow the girl?
We took an alternate way to return.
These armored men, did they come upon you? Or did they come upon the girl? And Sirius, you need not make a Arcana check to realize what she's sort of getting at. Like, scrying magics are very, you would have heard of them, but typically they're like all forms of magic in the Hyperborean world. They have all sorts of like qualifications and requirements and whatnot and varying different levels of specificity. It would be extraordinarily unlikely, unless the sorcerer was phenomenally powerful, to not even witness the people who attacked his guards and then within 20 minutes be able to track them.
Some got away. One or two got away from the initial group. Maybe that's how.
Well, even with that, it would, because what would they have to go on? What Sirius could tell you is that for strangers, there would need to be some kind of link.
Right. I think his fear has been that she is somehow marked and trackable by Tutankhamun, but I have not obviously confirmed any of that. It is just suspicion.
Nurgle's bloody balls, she says. And she heads in, and she says, bring the girl. Come, quickly. And she leads you through the house to a wing of their mansion or manor where it seems as if it's their private areas. And when you get into her... I guess you're guessing it's hers from what Gabal had talked about not really being studious. While his wife was the clever one, you guess it's hers. But stepping in here, Sir Isidore, you realize, like, holy shit. Like, if she is not a sorcerer, she is most certainly a scholar. Because she has a bunch of tomes and symbols and like kind of accoutrements and whatnot that would speak to hedge magic at the very least, if not, a knowledge of true magic. And she goes over to an area and goes searching around for something, and then retrieves a clasp. And she says, "Come here, girl." And Aira sort of looks up at you, Hakon, like, "Do I listen?" And Jamila says, "I wish you no harm. Come." She's still waiting for your go-ahead, Hakon.
Yeah.
Okay. So she walks forward and she sees her wrist, and Jamila's about to put it on her wrist, and then she sees the state of her wrist with these raw wounds on them, and she says, shakes her head, goes over, grabs a silken scarf, or perhaps just pulls one off of her, wraps it around her wrist, and then clasps this thing on her. And she says, "It will be loose. You must take care, girl. This must not come off." And she looks down at it and looks up. "I believe this should prevent him from finding her again. For now. At least until we can speak to a Baru. Though, Tutamon... Oh... He says, and then she sort of catches herself and she says, "Girl, what is your name?" And she looks up at her. "Aira. You must be hungry, Aira. Is that right?" And she kind of nods and she looks up at Hakon as if, like, "Is this okay?" And Jamila says, "Come. I will take you to the kitchens. Our servants will see you fed." And she sort of looks up at Hakon once again as if, like, not wanting to leave.
"Go, child. You're in good hands. You're safe here."
So Jamila calls one of her servants. Aira is taken away, leaving Jamila in this space with you. Sir Isidore, you're still kind of taken in, like, oh, like, there's a lot of stuff that could be learned from here. And she says, "This girl, if she is property of Tutamon's, it will be difficult to keep her. My husband his wealth garners great influence, but Tutamon is a sorcerer. Though, you said this girl mentioned a princess. What did she say about this princess?"
"I recall her saying that the princess would be sacrificed or used in a rite. Is that correct, Sir Isidore? I'm a little fuzzy. It was a couple weeks ago."
I just recall that she was also enslaved, is what I remembered, but I don't know exactly what was planned for her.
She
Are
had
we in the right path, Kev?
You are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she'd said today that she was. They were going to sacrifice her.
Yeah.
So that does seem. So Jamila looks a little confused. She says, I know the reputation that Stygian sorcerers have, and Tutamon is feared, but for those who are wise, his sorceries were said to not delve into the blackest areas, which his colleagues of the Black Circle exercise. It is the reason he is tolerated in here. It is not our custom to welcome Stygian sorcerers into our midst, lest they prove... But this one, he proved himself of value. And I've heard him... I have not met the man, but there are a Shippu who I trust, who have consulted with him. And you may remember the Shippu are the exorcists who deal with demons, the possessions of by demons in Shem. I fear there is more here. This girl, you said you saw her in a dream, Hakon. And these petals came with you.
Yes. I don't know how she did that, or if it was her doing. But there's some link.
There is most certainly a powerful link between you two, though. I mentioned Noam, the Baru, whom I would introduce you to, Sir Isidore. Might I call him here? If he... I think his divinations and spells may provide some insight.
I would welcome his knowledge.
Good. We will seat someone to treat those wounds. Both of you. If my husband's guards are capable and keep our family safe, but the forces of a sorcerer, you may yet be called upon to protect our household once again, if you wish to keep this property from Tutamon. Come. And she brings you in, and she sends for a physiker to come and treat your wounds. She will go and, make her contacts with Nawam, the Baru. You may remember Baru are the diviners and the ones who scry demonic origins and whatnot. What we'll say is, Sir Isidore, you get the benefit. Sir Hakon, you have not yet been treated, so why don't you recover another... it's your level plus your con modifier, so that's 7 points you'll get back, Hakon. And you guys have an opportunity to speak to one another in private first before collecting Aira, and then you're welcome to bring Aira with you into your quarters if you wish. But you have a moment of privacy with no servants around, with the girl gone, and with Jamila off running her errands.
What say you, Sir Isidore?
This girl brings a lot of trouble with her. Well, I hope there is some meaning behind your vision that I can help with, but at this point, I think we have deepened the threat to ourselves and our own futures. I will be very curious to know what Noam can provide.
Yes, I agree. And our host, I worry that we brought this young girl here and that we bring a dark cloud across this sunny sky.
Yes, and perhaps have even tainted our own refuge.
But we were not one to stay long in a place, right?
This is true. I don't even know if you could get used to the soft beds, Haken.
That could take time. As much time as perhaps you need to learn from the mystics here.
I would be honored to take whatever knowledge I could from them. And I know your sword will be a great one for you to carry. Look forward to seeing you use it again.
Perhaps we should get your introduction done sooner than later. If we overstay our welcome here, perhaps at least if you have your introduction to the mystics, we could pursue that on our own. I fear that the dark pallor and we've brought with us might reduce the duration of our stay.
I agree. I think the next time we leave Gabal's, we never return.
So, Abra is brought back to you, and the Physiker, Hakon, you should be right as rain with one night's sleep, but the Physiker is insisting on a full afternoon, evening, and day's rest for you, Sir Isidore. Word will come from Jamila that the diviner will be arriving tomorrow, so you will have an opportunity to rest. That does leave one day and evening with Aira here. After she finished eating and is cleaned up a bit, and her clothes, she's been given new clothing that, while hers is laundered, keeping that bracelet on. Is there anything you guys wish to do? Oh. Hakon, anything you wish to do?
I wish to talk to Ava, I think. I want to understand better how you were in my dream, how I brought black flowers, and yet you were in the market the next day. There are too many things there that do not make sense to my northern mind. My thought cage is shaking with all kinds of ideas.
She says, the fates, the Norns, sir. I think the Norns have woven us together, for I saw you in my dreams as well.
And what is your relation to this princess?
We were both captives. She was most kind. She, myself and the other girls. Tutaman is a cruel and evil man. And the princess, gracious, kind, and beautiful. It was for her thanks that I was able to escape. She I have to thank for freeing me.
She freed you?
I saw you in my dreams. And she freed me, knowing that you would come and save us both.
Well, don't know how much I can do, but with Sir Isidore's help, perhaps. Cutting down men in an alley is different than going into a sorcerer's lair and facing whatever evils are there.
Indeed. Totaman is a terrible and powerful man. Sir Isidore, would you give us a sense motive check, please? So we can get that nat 1 again. So when you're listening in bed, you've got these poultices that stink like medicine on you, and you are listening to Hakon speak to Aira in the distance. Hakon, unfortunately, is not picking up on this. But you can pick up that she is just stringing this big man along. Like he's talking about, what did I see in the dreams, and she's telling him about the Norns and about the princess and whatnot. And while you're not necessarily, because you probably have like a gauzy screen between the different, areas where you are lying down and trying to recover, and you're listening to him speak to her, and she spins this story about her and other girls being prisoners of Tutankhamun alongside the princess, and that when she dreamed of him, that the princess the princess helped her escape so that she might find this man from her dreams who would come and free both Aira and the princess. And you're just like, he doesn't see it. He doesn't see that this magic girl from his dreams with a more significant connection than should have been possible and only connected through some sorcerous means, is now has him going along with all of her beliefs. Dave, is this unusual for Hakon to be quite so? Because like you mentioned that it was his brother's tomb that he saw in that, or his brother's memorial. Is this more credulous, I guess, than he typically is?
I think the personal connection and the flowers are probably where he's like, well, this has got to be some greater hand playing things, not just some trick, some magic spell that some sorcerer has played. Mm-hmm. Which is why he's kind of buying it way more than he probably would otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Sir Isidore is completely opposite here in not trusting what's happening and not trusting anyone's intentions at this point, but probably not wanting to break it to Hakon either, because he doesn't yet think it's detrimental. Okay. So he's sort of, I think, piecing this all together though, quietly, and will mention it to Hakon when the time is right.
Okay.
I think in Hakon's head, he knows that something's not right, but he's like self-justifying he's like, like, this has got to be real. He's telling himself that it's real so that he can believe it, because it seems to be, almost comforting in some way.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that what you spend the rest of the evening doing, if you are going to entertain her until, bedtime, she will, there'll be like traditional Aesir songs or whatnot that you may engage in there, because I'm picturing in the same way that, like, there are Voyageur songs, there are likely Nordheimer Viking songs that people would sing, right? So
yeah, and he's like, this is a taste of his homeland that he's almost forgotten about. He's been gone so long that it's like suddenly there's someone from his homeland and there's a connection, and it's like he's not being objective, but at the same time he kind of doesn't care at the moment. Yeah.
What is, because when he returns, for as a reminder too, when he next sets foot on snow, his doom will come.
Yeah, we don't need to go there. You're in the land of sun and sand, Kev. There's no doom winter. No winter doom here.
So
we're headed south.
With the evening's rest and then a relaxing start to your next day, Sir Isidore, if you wish to have a word with Hakon in private, you probably can finagle that at some point. But it sounds like you're biding your time to speak to him.
I think, as far as Sir Isidore wants to go right now, Hakon, he'll mention to you, he say, it's quite a tale she weaves, don't you think, Hakon?
I think Hakon is about to answer, and he's like, yes, it is a good tale. my friend.
We should stay on course. I just caution against following the tales.
Caution noted. I think in the back of my head, I can see this playing out in some way that does not align with the way the tale is going. Not to say this is a trap by some Stygian sorcerer to bring us in for some reason to his lair and or so forth, but I know that this is not perhaps all as it may seem, but I like how it seems.
I'm glad to hear that, actually, Hacken, that you have that awareness, because as deep and powerful as all this is, I don't think any of it will bring your brother back.
No, it won't. And there's no illusion of that. But it's good to think of the homeland once in a while. It's been a long time. And I don't take anything away from our friendship or our travels. But aside from white flakes that fall from the sky, I do miss my homeland somewhat. Sometimes.
I understand. I do too. Our way is south for now. The day will come when we may return, but the day is not today.
Not until there's a eternal summer.
So, overnight, Hakon, you will recover up to full. So we got back at 44. And Sir Isidore, because you underwent treatment and because you did nothing but rest for a day, you will be recovering. It's 6 plus double your Constitution modifier, which is 0, plus 2 per character level, which is 10. So that's 16, but then that is doubled again because of the Physiker, because of the treatments and whatnot. So you'll be back up at full as well.
Nice.
Just to give you a sense of how healing works. Typically, with a full day's rest without, we're still doing, like, being active and not just being in bed all day, it's 3 plus your con modifier plus 1 per character level per day of connected from OBS. Let's see here. And we are back. So for those listening at home, apologies. OBS just dropped the stream for a moment. What I was saying is that normal healing is 3 plus con modifier plus 1 per character level, and then that can be doubled with successful long-term care. And then if you're doing nothing but bed rest, that basically doubles it again. So,
nice. All
right, so you are feeling whatever apothecaries and physicians that Jamila called in. It seems that they have been quite effective. Gabal will check in on you during the day, as well before he is heading out. It seems as if either he is not bringing up the threat of Tutankhamun, or Jamila has concealed that from him, because he doesn't ask anything about that. And it seems as if the girl is completely... He doesn't bat an eye at that. And I believe it's another couple of days, isn't it? Didn't we say it was a couple of days before your sword was ready?
Yeah, I thought it was 2 or 3 days more or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So then, it is about noon when Jamila comes in accompanied by another Shemitic person. This is an older man. It looks like this. So she introduces him as Noam. And she says, Hakon Doomwinter and Sir Isidore of Nemedia, this is Noam, the Baru of whom I spoke. And he nods his head towards you both. Which is it? He says. And she says, that one. And she points at you, Hakon. And he eyes the girl, and his eyes are darting around like, almost like the deft sword strokes of a Zingaran fencer. And he says, she should leave. And Jamila says, come, Aira. Let me show you what we have in the garden. And once again, Aira looks over at you, Hakon.
Go, girl.
She goes with you. And he comes over, Noam comes over and looks. The mistress of this household, she says this to you, Sir Isidore, says you are not wholly untutored.
I have learned some, sir. But I hope to learn more from you.
We shall see. You, Northerner, come.
Go where?
To me. You are not truly as thick as they say. Your heads are as sturdy as the hulls of your ships.
Indeed.
He kind of laughs, realizing you're taking his insult quite well. Come, sit. Tell me. And he begins taking out a bag of you're not sure. It looks like it's all sand, like almost looks like a small sandbag. And he says, points at a point in the square. He gestures to you, Sir Isidore. Move those tables aside. We need space for this.
Aye.
So you start moving those. And you will sit here, and you will not move until we tell you to move. You understand?
Yes. Not a very difficult instruction.
You may find it difficult to follow. This will take several hours.
I might need a pitcher of ale then.
You need a clear mind for the divination to work. Now,
Damn it, man, I'm gonna get thirsty.
he begins setting out some things. Stay your thirst until the invocation is complete, Northerner. You can get drunk on your own time. This is my time. Now tell me. He leans down and kind of, he starts like studying your eyes and kind of like, opening your mouth. The lady at the house says this girl came to you in a dream.
Indeed.
And there was something when you awoke. Something you
Flowers. Brought. Flower petals from a northern realm.
Have you them still?
Yes. Here.
Give them. So he takes one or two and he studies it. He goes over, collects from the case that he has set down on one of the tables. He brings out some oil and then drops it on there, and there's a kind of flash. You have not seen this girl before? He
Only in the
gingerly...
dream and the marketplace the next day.
And you have not dreamed of her before?
No.
Now think hard, Northerner. Focus. Sharpen your memory as one of your axes. Think. Did you see her? You can give us I think a knowledge local. We've been sort of using that as a way of focusing your attention. How do you feel about that?
Now that I got my glasses on, not very good. Don't have many left.
So that'd be 23. So you're thinking, and the more you think about it, it's curious. As you're trying to recall, he then lights a stick of incense that carries with it a unusual odor. Not altogether unpleasant, but certainly not something that you would want to smell all the time. But curiously, it does seem to help with your memory. And you remember now a palanquin going through one of the streets that you were going through. You may remember you guys were trying to be as furtive as you could before you got back to Cabal's house, going back and forth. And while you were keeping watch at one point, Hakon, you now remember the side of the palanquin opened and someone looking out from within. You locked eyes with this girl. Only her eyes were blue then.
Think he'll explain that.
So, no, just, yes. You saw her and forgot. I think you...
Forgot or is made to forget?
He looks... Is there a difference?
Yes.
Then the latter. And he begins preparing a couple of little, almost like little chafing things, or not chafing dishes, but like little oil dispensers. But in place of oil, he's placing sand in them. And then he begins chanting and drawing some intricate lines using that and his stick to guide things around you, Hakon. Sir Isidore, you're looking, and you can give us a knowledge arcana roll if you'd like. You're confident he's preparing a divination spell. If you wish to assist, you certainly could try.
Sir Isidore is going to try to assist and learn and absorb as much of this ritual as he can.
He at first is like, suspicious of what you're going to do, and then once he sees what you're, that you're preparing things and handing him the correct things, he... In total, the ritual takes about 3 hours, so it is well into the afternoon until you are completed. But he then completes his divination. And at the end of it is when all the oils are burned, when the complete designs are formed around Hakon. Never let it be said that I don't give you guys the benefit of these when they show up as well. Nat 20, baby, on his magical roll.
Nice.
So he kind of staggers back and he looks at you. You have been marked by a god, Doomwinter. And you can get a fate point back for that.
Marked by a god.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, old man?
You can get a fate point back to Sir Isidore for participating in the ritual.
What do you mean, old man? Marked by a god.
It is... Are you familiar with the Masantian myth of the Hydra? The beast whose heads multiply when removed.
No, I only know the one of the Fang Dragon.
That one is a tragedy, to be honest.
The tragedy of Sir Isidore and the Fang Dragon.
A Hydra is a terrible dragon with multiple heads, which can each see. And you're hearing this and you're thinking of like, well, it's kind of like Jormungand and it's kind of like Fenrir. Well, actually, that's a Cerberus is what I'm thinking of, not Fenrir. Fenrir only has one head because he's a chump. Greek dogs, they have three. What he says is this god stretches like a kraken's tentacles into other things. And it is through one of those tentacles, this girl, that it reached your mind. What did this girl ask of you?
Save a princess from the clutches of a sorcerer. Stygian sorcerer.
He kneels down. Are you a hero, Northerner?
Not normally.
I know knights have been known to champion the causes of princesses. But are you predisposed to such things too?
Ha! Nope.
He may be too modest to call himself a hero, but I would call him one.
Then they marked their prey well. Does this girl, does she remind you of anyone? Or anywhere? You said your home. What else did you see in your dream?
It happened. The dream was on a hill that I played on as a child. Also, the resting place of my older brother. Not a place I talked about.
It is a place you cherish.
It is important to me.
And so such things work. He gestures towards your head. It has wheedled itself into your mind. It has preyed on those things you care about. And it has used a form pleasing to you to give you a task you would find pleasing. But all is not as it seems.
I think he looks at Isidore. They share like, hey, we knew this, right?
Yeah, Sir Isidore is. What's your best? I'm not saying I told you so, but
It is as we feared.
Noam looks up at you, Sir Isidore. You suspected this.
Indeed.
You were right to be suspicious, Nemedian. Something has wormed itself through that girl and into you, Northerner. There is no princess. I am as certain of it as I am that this floor is stone. But something wishes you to free it. Jamila. She was reluctant to share the nature of the threat, but I see it in the skein. It is Tutankhamun who is entwined in this. No?
Is the girl just a girl? Or is it possible that something... And Hakon's thinking back to when Sir Isidore was locked eyes with Ira and she spooked him.
Yeah.
And he's like, so he'll look to Hakon or to Sir Isidore like, am I okay to talk about this?
It's a fair question, Hakon. I wonder the same thing if she's not what meets the eye. Because she's certainly not. What she says does not seem to be truthful.
You are not from these lands, either of you. So you would not know such things. And he moves his way over to where the drinks are set. And he says, our lands are beset by demons. Our people bedeviled by them. They come like uninvited guests. And as if to emphasize this, he begins pouring wine into a chalice. And in they come, occupying an unwelcome guest, and as all unwelcome guests are, they cause trouble. And he picks up the chalice, and he brings it over to you, Hakon. We have long histories with such things, and know how to cast them out. To identify them, to give them their names, and with them, force them. There is a demon in this girl. A god demon. But if a chalice is full, is it ever thus? Or, and he raises a second glass and toasts towards you. Might it be drained? And he gulps back some wine and then gestures at the empty chalice as if to make his point. There are tendrils in here. Removing the tendrils would at best provide temporary relief. Her demon, you see, is a hand in her, a puppet. The driving mind has tried to trick you. But, and he looks over at you, Sir Isidore, you have wise friends, and you know the trap that they have set. Tutankhamun is knowledgeable in such things, but I have not known him to be enslaved by them. Were I to guess, he has entrapped or enslaved this god. And like any trapped animal, it writhes and seeks to escape. And he kneels down And so, Northerner, are you a hero? I can give you amulets, and you can flee this city. Leave these lands and never worry on this again. I know a Shipu who can drive the demon from the girl, and Jamila, in her way, is knowledgeable, and we can keep her from the scryings of Tutankhamun. But there is some purpose he has put to her, and demons are cruel in all their forms, including the ways to cast them from this world.
I don't know about being a hero, but I think I'll see this through.
I've heard your people view fate as a path. And you, Nemedian, you will walk his path with him?
I will. I have vowed to stay with him as he with me.
And what is your goal? To kill this demon?
I don't know if I know that yet. I think we will seek out Tutankhamun, learn more of the truth, and determine our course of action from there.
Be warned. While Tutankhamun is, as his kind go, a more agreeable sort, an agreeable Stygian sorcerer, is still a terrible sight to behold, and a horrifying enemy to have. But let us sit. Divining is thirsty work.
Yes. Especially when someone drinks wine in front of you.
And we have plans to make. It is not lightly that one seeks to unwork the plans of a god demon. And with that, why don't we take our mid-session break? And then we'll come back and see what you guys plan on doing next. So for those listening at home, we will be back momentarily, about 5 minutes. All right. Okay, THX, what's going on? Hope you're having a great weekend. A great first weekend of 2024 at that. I got to play both Warhammer and Conan today, so I'm a happy pappy. All right, so while we're waiting for Dave to come back, Sir Isidore, any questions you have for Noam while you are waiting?
The fact is not lost on him that Haman, despite the deception here, he is still a Stygian, and that if he were not accepted by his own, then what kind of person would he be? And then for him to be here and have such power and influence, I think is what is most concerning to Sir Isidore right now. Like, how influential is he really? And is there anything we can do to counter it at this point? Those types of questions.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I will tell you too, so there's a variety of different powers that sorcerers can learn through their spells. The way that it works in the game is you have different sorcery styles, and then as you learn those, you learn specific spells within them, and you can learn multiple styles. You can learn different spells within those styles as well as you gain in power. But one thing that all sorcerers can do is they have access mechanically. They have access to power points, and those run the gamut of like a starting base of between 6 and 12 up to like 12 to 30. And what every sorcerer can do as a last-ditch defense is just unleash that in a force of power around them that does 1d6 for each power point spent with no cap to it. So sorcerers can, at the very, absent anything else, and mechanically, they can do that as an attack of opportunity. They can do that at any point on their action as a free action. Like, it is... they cannot do it to interrupt someone else's turn unless unless they have an opportunity to make an attack of opportunity. But it is something that all sorcerers can do, is just unleash devastating power on their enemies.
That is amazing.
It does leave them well and truly drained, but like even a modest, modestly powerful sorcerer of the Black Circle, in a moment of desperation, if they're willing to lose all of their power, can unleash, a ring of destruction unequaled by any kind of siege weapon or, devilish trick of alchemy. Again, leaves them with no PowerPoints afterwards, but it's a pretty cool, it's a neat ability they've gotten, and why sorcerers are well and truly, feared in the setting.
Yeah.
So,
that's terrifying, actually. That's just terrifying. that they can unleash that whenever they should choose. That's terrifying.
Yeah. So then, what do you guys... do you have any questions of Noam? What he will tell you, just in case you question, he does not wish Aira to be anywhere near him at this point.
What do we do with the girl? Can leave her here? We take us with her? With us when we go to visit Tutamon?
I can work wardings to keep her free from this creature's influence while within them. But it will not protect her forever. a Shipu would assist and would know more. But this god, if it has connected to her, she did not tell you what happened to her while in Tutamon's care.
No. I believe we should have a conversation with her or this god demon.
If she is influenced by the god demon, she will lie, as all their kind does. And if she is not, there is little to be gained in further traumatizing a child.
Then maybe we'll just leave her here and go forthwith.
You propose to speak to Tutamon. To what end? If he had her, and he had this god, he has plans. You can feel confident when dealing with Stygian sorcerers. They will always have a plan. Where she fits in, I know not. Perhaps binding, perhaps dismissal. I do not know. I know that she shares your blood. You, child of Bori. And I sense it fears that. And Sir Isidore, you can give us a history check if you like. So what you know is he's referencing the Nordheimers, who are this, and I think the Chimerians as well, who are seen as the children of Bori. They're the ones who are said to, they're the wild northerners who are said to have come down and have cast down ancient Acheron. Acheron was a kingdom as mighty as what Stygia was. The Stygia you see now is truly a terrifying empire of sorcery, but it is a pale shadow of what it was in the time of Acheron, when it also stood. So that Hakon and Aera, as the children of Bori, Noam says, did she tell you the other girls? You had mentioned there were others. I'm assuming you told Noam over the course of your conversation everything that she had told you?
Yeah, and I'm sure our characters have a better memory than what we...
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Were they Northerners as well? That you have not asked.
Don't know.
The hatred of these things if this is a god of last Acheron, the blood of Bori symbolizing its ancient enemy, may be what Tutamon hopes to use in his schemes. But, and you can give us one more knowledge arcana check there, Sir Isidore. Let's see if you reach the conclusion for Noam does. It's said that Lost Atlantis has no true legacy. But Sir Isidore, you know that is not the case. The Cimmerians, though you would think of them, Cimmerians, forgive me. Cimmerians, you would think as savage hill tribesmen, cannibals even, it's said. But what runs in their veins is the same blood that once dominated the gleaming cities. And that legacy can have influence in this world. And in a similar way, while the blood of the enemies may be used to bind such a god, like this god's former masters or worshippers, it can be shattered by the blood of Bori as well. How do you phrase that, Sir Isidore, in a way such that Hakon might appreciate it?
Wow, I think that might be difficult. That's sort of difficult for Sir Isidore to rephrase it. Yeah, I'm not sure how he would rephrase that.
So let me put it more simply, and you can put it in Sir Isidore's words. In the same way that Cimmerians, as an echo of Atlantis, can be feared by the ancient foes of Atlantis, the ancient foes of the sons of Bori, could likewise fear those with the blood of Bori. And if this god is a god of lost Acheron, they would have memory of the howling hordes that tore down their temples, that slew their worshippers, that drove their power and their people into the dust. I tried to do it more simply, and I got lost and got caught up with it. Sorry.
Well, it's Cimmerian, more of a Cimmerian vengeance.
It is more the blood, because Hakon, as a Nordheimer, represents the blood of Bori, and the girl, likewise, is the blood of Bori. There may be symbolic power in those. They are invocations of a history, and if Tutamon uses either the blood of Bori literally to bind this creature, if it is indeed a god of Acheron, one way to do so would be to use literally the blood to bind it perhaps to this girl and perhaps others sharing her lineage, to perhaps use these girls to work this terrible ritual, using the power that their blood carries in relation to a god of Acheron.
So,
but
yes,
rather than just working a magical invocation, it can also be used in the very blunt way that the Sons of Bori did before, to cast down Acheron, which is to take up arms. Mechanically, one of the ways where this setting differs from some others is the where this is where Howard, as a, you know, with kind of Lovecraftian style monsters and creatures and gods and whatnot, differs from Lovecraft, is that Howard's dark, you know, creatures of the utter dark, you can punch them in the fucking face. You can chop them up with swords. Especially when you carry any kind of mystic legacy like that, you can use your very hands to break the necks of ancient and outer dark creatures.
So the lineage of Hakon potentially is a benefit in this.
Yeah. Like, if you were a wizard and thinking only in sorcerer's terms, you might think to use this, perhaps as by way of sacrifice, perhaps by way of a vessel. There's all sorts of devilish ways that sorcerers might make use of those who have this to gain power over this thing. But if you are a member of this, in the same way that this thing may have distant memories from hundreds of generations past of one of your ancestors smashing down the doors to their temple, going in and bringing their crudely made axes to all of their worshippers, similarly, that ancestral fear can carry forward. And one of the blood of Bori may indeed be able to slay this god. Well and truly.
Let's see if we can go give him some more ancestral trauma.
Does that make sense now?
It does, yeah. That clicks for me now. That he's got the same blood that has been used in this curse. So, yeah.
Or at least what is being what Aira's role is. Aira has some role and some connection to this god. What that connection is, Noam cannot tell you, but he can speculate at both the reason there is that she has a connection and power, and also the identity of who this god might be. And if her blood can have power to connect to or have power over this, no Stygian in their right mind would just simply bow down to a god of Acheron. Acheron is an ancient foe of Stygia. If anything, a Stygian priest or sorcerer might try and seize control of one of Acheron's fallen gods.
But we could conclude somewhat or assume somewhat that Tutankhamun is potentially taking this as a means to get back into good favor with his sorcerer circle in Stygia.
Yep. It is safe to assume that even the most acceptable of Stygian sorcerers still will do anything for power, because that is the only currency that they respect.
Okay, that totally resonates.
Okay. So then, Sir Isidore, while we wait for Hakon's return, what are you thinking that need be done here?
Hakon mentioned speaking to Tutankhamun, but I question what we would learn from that and we would submit ourselves, of course, to him to put ourselves in that position. I would want to inquire from Noam about how he might suggest we could most disable Tutankhamun's influence and operation, to get his sense of it, because I still think there'd be some fear from the alleyway, earlier about Tutankhamun, and just going face to face with him at this point feels too vulnerable.
Is your foe the Stygian sorcerer, the god, or both?
I suppose I oppose them all.
And you think them allies?
My allies are here.
You think them allies with one another? Would your gods cheerfully kneel to a Stygian priest?
Never.
So it would be for one of Acheron. What do you wish? To slay this sorcerer? To slay this god? Or to free this girl? You seem intent on one of those three.
I would prefer to take Tutankhamun out.
Facing a sorcerer is no small task. Powerful invocations, guarding rituals, and terrible curses. It is not impossible. But what do you do with the god when he is unrestrained from his sorceress master?
Can we expel the god from the girl?
For a time, yes. But to truly free her, this god must be cast out.
And whoever brought the god in, would they be capable?
Capable, yes.
Willing? Probably not.
There is great power in such things. It is why those of a darker bent turn to them. Great power and knowledge can be drawn from such things if you can master such demons. But at always a cost, and always an eternal threat. If you wish to free her, this god must die. The sorcerer, without it, he has no need for Era or her kind.
So we expel the god, slay it, and
We will
leave the sorcerer for another time.
achieve two things. We will hinder him and save her.
To face a sorcerer as your kind might, Nemedian, charging, trumpets blaring, pennants flying, you might as well dig your own grave. Indirectly. That is how you approach a sorcerer. But I do not know of such things. I am not a sneak thief, a robber. You two kind of exchange looks with one another.
Whatever you got there, brother. Whatever you want.
Noem gets up and says, I will see to the warding of the girl. This god will have no eyes on your plans. I wish fortune with you. And Noam will leave you to discuss with each other. So, now one thing I will mention from a metagame standpoint, Remember the name of this game. Conan. If your plans are thinking like Conan, you are definitely thinking of how your characters might find success.
Well, I was thinking we were going to befriend the local magistrate, see if we can get a bylaw up against the sorcerer using their powers, and
raise their taxes.
A thief, a reaver, a slayer is how your folk will chronicle Conan, the Cimmerian king of Aquilonia, in time.
we will sneak in and slay this sorcerer. But we can tell people later, Sir Isidore, that we barged down and knocked his door in and took out the whole castle. However makes you happy, but we need to get it done.
One of the things about Sir Isidore, he certainly is an unconventional knight of the media. So
there is certainly that.
That is true. I'm not too concerned of the retelling now, friend. More the outcome. And it sounds as if we should focus on the girl for now and the creature within her.
Are we? Or he said he was going to do wards, so maybe she's okay for now.
She will be protected for a time by the wards. But what he said is that the demon can work its way back into her. What you would know, Sir Isidore, with such a great arcana check from before, just the particulars, there are certain sort of commonalities of these types of gods, demons, and whatnot truly are kind of another realm too, but they are also very linked to a corporeal place. And what is likely the case in here is it is likely that it is bound somewhere in his home. You would need space, you would need a location to be able to work these kinds of magic. That's just the nature of magic. Hyborian sorcery has a meaty kind of textual feel to it. There's no like astral, I mean, there's the outer dark, but like you're not walking the astral planes, you're casting your mind atavistically across time, right? Like it's not so there are, as much as sorcerers are phenomenally powerful, and the defenses that Tutankhamun likely has, if he truly was a member of the Black Circle, it's a terrifying prospect of facing him individually. But the demon, the god, that is a different matter. Like any other treasure, a sorcerer would keep them in a secret place. Where that would be as numbered, as numberless as what, the variety of sorcerers might be in the Hyborian age. But where would you hide it? If you were secreting a concealed, ancient god in your abode.
The tallest tower or the deepest dungeon, one or the other. And so, yeah, but nearby, I should say. So I think, Hacken, it sounds like we want to infiltrate the sorcerer's homes, but with the intent of finding his entrapped demon, and not.
Isn't that in the girl?
Necessarily.
The girl's but a tentacle of a kraken.
Oh, so she's only part of it.
Yeah.
See, Hacken doesn't get all that.
Well, as you're saying, there was multiple girls too. She said there were multiple girls, and while you haven't confirmed that they're all Northerners.
Okay. Well, let's go in.
How do you wish to do that?
We have to case the place out
We need
first.
to scout it out and get a sense of what his estate is like, or multiple
jump the wall and run to the nearest building. Do it at night. This will be fun.
So how do you wish to reconnoiter this? What are your
We
plans?
need to find out where he lives or where he is. We know the area now.
Yeah, you know the area, you just have not yet been to his actual domain.
Yeah, I think it's time for a walk and to case his area at least.
Yeah.
Even the whole general area, not even just where we suspect his walls are, but those around it.
Do we know how long we've got, like, protection for the girl? Like, these magics that they wove? Do we have a day? Do we have a week?
It's a day-by-day thing. He is warding her,
Okay.
but it's the kind of thing that will need to be...
Redone?
Yeah. For a lesser sorcerer, it might be something where you can do it for a shorter period, but Stygian sorcerer, purportedly of the Black Circle, they don't come more dangerous.
Yeah, sorry for the jumping off. I have a 10-year-old downstairs who's trying to cook chicken nuggets and use a...
No problem.
She's like, but there's no instructions for air fryer. I'm like, okay, well, let's get this figured out here.
No problem at all.
Yeah. Better to check now than before you smell something.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll
like,
turn
oh,
the
the
fucking burning.
kitchen's on fire. I should have checked on you. All right, good. All right, so we're good.
So-
All right, let's do some exploring.
Okay. So, I think, it sounds like you guys are trying to be inconspicuous,
Yes.
which makes me think hiding most definitely.
Or maybe some disguises. Or something else that we don't know to do very well.
Yeah.
Definitely. I like this plan. And I think a fate point would be due if you're taking arms against a sorcerer and their pet god.
You know what? Can we call Jamila back in?
Yeah.
Jamila, can you and your retinue, your house staff, make us look less northerner and Nemedian walking through the street?
Let me find her. Where are you, Jamila?
Some robes, perhaps, or some clothing that would be fit local. I'm even okay with covering my face and her hair, and I'm a hulking brute, but
I think when you ask about to try and get you to look less like yourself, she gives you a look of like, oh, why not ask me simply to move a mountain? Gee. But she will do what she can. I think Gabal at one point, as the evening is coming, comes in and looks in to see what she's doing to you all, getting you dressed up. And he looks like the same level of pride that he showed in his wife when he first told you about her. And he says, "My wife is a wonder."
you are not wrong, Ben. You're not wrong.
By bringing in the perfect costumers. That is... Let's see if I can show up one thing here.
16?
That is an 18. I rolled. So both of you will be looking instead much like locals. To the point where you were even... Well, I guess let me ask you this. What do you wish to disguise yourself as? As merchants? As mercenaries? As craftsfolk?
We're probably more leaning.
A merchant and his guard, perhaps, or...
Yes, Sir Isidore will be easier to disguise as a Shemitic man only because of his coloring is a little closer to what the Shemites have. Hakon, you're going to be absent them using dyes, which she would have access to. If you wish, they can use, like, you know, squid's ink and whatnot to color your beard and your hair to make you look more local. They can also conceal you too, as you see with Noam's thing. They could just put ash in your beard, make it look white and chalky, make it look like an old man.
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay.
Make me look older.
Okay. And so which you're going to be like heavily robed and just look like an old man?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And you, Sir Isidore, what do you wish to look like?
I'll go with the more of a merchant.
Okay. In which case, your sword and your knife will look a little less out of place. Hakon, how would you like to I guess first off, would you like to bring all of your weaponry with you, or you want to pick up something else? One of the advantages with both of you guys, you can pretty much pick up any weapon and use it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna not bring the big swords and axes and stuff. Maybe I'll just use the daggers.
Okay.
Keep the daggers hidden.
Do you want a staff or something as well?
Yeah, a walking stick.
And keeping in with your thing, yeah. Because either a walking stick as a cudgel, like a shillelagh type thing, or you could have a full staff.
A full staff. He's going for the Gandalf look.
Yep.
Who, like, you know, beat you over the head with it and break it over your neck. Yeah.
Yeah, so staff is 2d4 damage.
Is there a way to add a weapon, or do I just have to type over something?
You're going to have to type over the weapons that, unfortunately, you can't add any weapons on this sheet either.
Okay.
Like, it would be pretty awesome if someone took a second pass at the character sheets for this, because in Roll20.
What's the staff's damage?
Stat damage 2d4. It's AP 1, but you get to add your strength to that. So that'd be AP 5.
Okay. Crit range? 20, probably?
Crit range in this one is, for the staff, yes, 20.
And damage and mods. So the other weapons, I have a +7. So two-handed.
Yeah, that's because you've got a couple of things that stack in. The damage, let me see here. I don't think you've got... the damage mod will be your strength, which is +4. It's a two-handed weapon, though, so it'll be actually +6.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna refresh real quick here.
Okay. +2d4 +6. Yep, that worked out.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna have to hit refresh us. Oh, I got Jamie. Never mind. I say I lost Jamie, but I found him. Have you lost us, Jamie?
My character sheet was just coming up blank over and over. So now it's good. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, you got that, and then Sir Isidore, what about you? What are you concealing on you in the event you run into trouble?
I think the Ganada knife for sure is going to be his go-to.
Yep.
And probably an extra dagger as well, some smaller weapons that he could bring with him, so it's not as noticeable.
Okay, you can easily have that on there as well.
Are Ganada knives difficult to come by?
They're a little rare and a little more pricey, yeah.
Okay.
So
by the time someone is observing it, it'll be in their neck, so it's okay.
all weapon damage is generally a little higher in this as well too. You'll notice like the Ganada knife does 1d8 damage.
Nice.
Yeah. As long as you're not on the receiving end of it. I'm just checking for Let's see here. Oh, a scimitar would be not untoward for what do you call it? I mean, a merchant carrying a scimitar around, depending on what time of day and how capable. So if you wish to have another weapon on you other than the gunata knife and the daggers.
Yeah, that... Okay.
And wearing that openly might deter people from... The last thing we need is to get mugged while we're out. Getting into a scuffle just because we look weak.
Yeah, we don't want to be... We don't look too vulnerable and be targeted either. To your point, I think. What's the scimitar's damage?
Scimitar does 1d8 damage, so same damage as the gunata knife, but its crit range is 18 to 20. 18 to 20 times 2.
Very cool.
And it's AP 2, which means with your strength, that's an AP 5 total. So almost as good as the broadsword. But a bigger crit range. All right. So with all of these disguises placed on you guys, why don't you... Oh, and I think... Yeah. Oopsies. You guys bumped up your fate there, Hakon. I think you were one down. Why don't you give us a... who would like to take the lead and who would like to assist with the hide? Now, yours currently is a minus... So, I've got yours listed on the PDF with all the different kind of contingencies, Sir Isidore. If you're carrying your shield and you're wearing your mail shirt, -1. If you are... Oh, you know what? Fuck me. You shouldn't have been as injured. Remember, your mail gives you DR5. So all those hits you were taking before, we should have been subtracting 5 from that damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got some AP from those from the ones that were attacking you, but you shouldn't have been taking quite as much damage as you would. That's one of the reasons you were wearing that shit. So apologies for forgetting that.
Harder to hit and less damage when you get hit.
Actually, you don't get an AC bonus from, like, a bonus to your defense from it. Armor in Conan, it only reduces damage you take.
Okay.
The shield increases your chances of parrying, and it increases your chances of dodging range attacks. But other than that, no. It's the only function that armor has is to reduce damage.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So then... hiding when you're wearing your mail and carrying your shield is -1. Wearing mail and trying to hide is +3. Not wearing your armor is +6, Sir Isidore. So are you going with your mail shirt on still, or do you leave that behind? I'm assuming you're not carrying your shield with you.
I think he'll wear his mail under his disguise for now, even though it won't help him here.
Yep.
Just because.
Good call.
Yep.
Hakon agrees.
Okay. So then, would you just tell us? So then it'll be your hide check is +3. The optimal way to kind of get the best roll is to have Sir Isidore helping Hakon with the hiding.
I was thinking that.
Okay. So give us a 1d6 +3 is your hide check, Sir Isidore. You need a 10 or higher. There you go. Hakon, hide check with +2, please. It's a 17. So as you guys head back out into the streets...
Do you want me to re-roll that, Jamie? That's only I only rolled a 6.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean... Doesn't seem like it's gonna hurt me. It's up to you.
It would guarantee 17 is good. There we go.
24.
All right, Hakon. Yeah, so +10 is 24. 26 actually, because you're going to get +2 from Sir Isidore.
Oh, right. That's even better.
So, to the casual observer, it is a Shemitic merchant walking along with an unusually large baru, discussing things in and around the district of Kuyesh. Oh, Anna wishes you luck.
Anna,
So
we're trying
as-
to be quiet.
Yeah.
Shh.
Stay hunched over, Haken.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes, right.
As you guys are making your way through... Oh, yeah, this way. So you're making your way through the more prosperous region or district of Kuyesh. And what you can find in here... Maybe I should bring you back to those big walls outside, because there are... It's hard to miss the Tower of a Sorcerer. And so it is with the Tower of Tutankhamun. Get rid of her. I'm just going to see if I loaded an image of Tutankhamun's tower. I do not recall. Oh yeah, let's use that one. So, let's see here. Oops, wrong button. Madison, come on.
Bush League DM.
Honestly.
And just so everybody knows, we all think Kev's a fantastic DM. So,
Yeah, no, it's a running joke.
yeah.
like, and that's something you call yourself. more
That's something
than
I call,
anyone.
exactly. It is a running joke on the channel.
I saw a meme the other day. It was Picard and Riker, and Picard says, "Forgot to go jogging again yesterday," and Riker says, "You say that every day." And Picard goes, "It's a running joke." So mad.
There we go. So, guys, this is the Tower of Tutankhamun. Walls, guards dressed in that same distinctive garb. It appears that there are some of those, like, thugs that you faced. Yeah, that was, I think, the guards you faced. But in addition to that... You can see the masked guards of Tutankhamun in there as well. It's difficult to see what is around the walls or beyond the walls. There is not an open gate here. There are gates that run around this fabulous, kind of smaller ziggurat. Would you give us a... Let's see here. This thing also does not tower nearly as high as what obviously the ziggurat of Ishtar does here. This is, you can think of it more of like a larger building or squat building as opposed to a sweeping ziggurat. Would you each give us a listen check, please? Tell me, or tell us, I should say, how do you guys go about reconnoitering this place?
I think that Sir Isidore will be leading around Haken and describing, kind of going out of his way to like describe things to him that he's asking him to do, as almost like he's tasking Haken with these jobs, and just not paying attention to anybody else but one another, and walking around the place so that we can maybe get unusually close at times to hear what's going on or see what's going on.
So what you can hear, being that close, there was a roar of some great cat from within there. Several, in fact. You look at one another, and Hakon, lions? Sir Isidore, there was a Stygian captain that you guys faced one time who had a lion as a pet. And having faced that thing on the high seas while trying to fend off boarding from their ship, you'll never forget that roar. So there are lions in the courtyard, and then there is the tower beyond.
I wonder, are there any buildings nearby that are accessible to the public?
To the public, unlikely. To you guys, one need only scramble up the side of a building.
Yeah. Maybe it's this, we need to find an alley, because I think I want to see, like, if possible, over the wall. So a building nearby where maybe it's just, clambering up a tree or up a wall, and then, walk along the side of the building just so we can try and peer over that. How do people get from there to the building without being attacked by the lions? That's what I...
I'm not sure that there is a place where you would be able to see down into there.
Okay. Well, maybe that's something we discover on the way in.
You have definitely seen guards of both sorts leave the place.
Can we get a cup of drink and sit in the shade nearby for a while and talk? And maybe keep an eye on how often the guards change and see if there's any sort of signal or time or...
Even if there's a part of the wall that could be scaled more easily than another, so that we could get that bird's eye view of the courtyard. To scale, you could certainly try that. Clamber up and look down. You would need to have a combination of a hide check and a climb check. Can Sir Isidore aid you, Hakan?
Sure. Could you be like a spotter maybe and keep an eye out for people while I'm...
With hiding you. Yeah, I could assist with hiding you and give you some time.
The climb piece? Yeah, just kind of...
Yeah, that's on you.
I got that. I got that handled.
So you could, why don't we do this? Why don't, Sir Isidore, why don't you give us a knowledge local check to kind of reflect your, I'd say your spot's not that great.
All right.
And you're not, so 17, yeah, so plus 2. So
sorry,
that's 22, nice. So Hakon, why don't you give us, I'll let that plus 2 apply to both checks then. So you're giving plenty of opportunity to try and get good handholds, and maybe he's like, lifting you up for the first little bit. Why don't you first give us a climb check? Let's see if you're able to get up there. Then we'll see whether anyone saw you or not.
Oops. Climb first?
Yeah. So you are easily able to get yourself up to the top. And what you can see is there are indeed lions on the ground here. And they do not seem to be facing any of these guards. Do not seem to be concerned. Except there is one who seems to come out with his mask up, and you see a tanned Stygian face in there, who is like putting a piece of meat in them. One of the lions kind of gets up, and he quickly puts the thing down. And then the lion stops in its charge, and then kind of languidly goes back to sit where it was. These are some of the most fearsome lions that you have seen. They make the one that you faced on that on the deck of that Stygian ship seem as nothing.
Okay, and that's when Hakon gets the idea of, we find the biggest guard possible and his buddy, and we accost them and take their gear, including their masks.
How about,
and we go in tonight as guards.
What if what if I spent a fate point to use destiny and say that we grabbed some off of the bodies that we dropped previously?
I think that is a wise... As you were dropping them, you were like, wait, Cerizador. I pulled them aside.
We've seen these before.
He just had a
important.
feeling they would be important, yeah. Now, let's see if anyone spots Hakon. So this would be a hide with +2.
Oh, I get to re-roll? Nice.
Yeah, you just re-roll.
The good thing about rolling out of order, folks, is sometimes it goes in your favor by not much.
So that's a 15. So let me roll for the guards. You lucky bastards. It's a 2.
Yeah.
So there's one
Climbing walls in broad daylight. Sometimes you just got to be lucky.
All right. You clamber down, and thanks to Cerizador's careful watching of the walls, you have a sense of what is beyond there. You also, if you're spending the rest of your day observing this place, then you will also get a sense of when kind of the shift changes are. So if you wish to try and it's not even that there's a shift change, because the guards aren't going elsewhere. They would dwell within the sorcerer's tower. It's when they're leaving. It does seem like there are a fair amount who are coming and going, though, as if they are searching for something, you would guess. It seems a lot of folks coming and going. Anything else you wish to do at Totamon's tower before heading back?
Is how many notable entryways are there? Just the main one, or did we notice any other?
That is a good question. Why don't you give us a search check there, Cerizador? Let's see if anything else came up. As I mentioned, as a well-developed and ancient city with a complicated or a sophisticated aqueduct system, this place will have sewers.
Good to know.
So, anything else you wish to reconnoiter or learn about from Tutamon's tower?
Do we want to go all the way back, or do we want to just wait till nightfall, accost a couple of fellows, don their garb, and go back in?
Yeah, I don't know that we need to go back either, other than if there was something we had to check in on.
You would need to go and collect the things. It would be a mail hauberk and brigandine coat with a steel cap, which would grant you a DR of 10.
Personally don't prefer to fight in armor, but...
No, you really do not. I'm just double checking. I'm trying to see if there's anything you lose when you're wearing armor. So I think as some
kind of a penalty?
Barbarian. Yeah, it's kind of like it is in 3.5. I think that the Barbarian... Let's see here.
It's just a temporary disguise, Hacken. You can drop it once the ruse is complete.
I love the bite sword ability. It's so great. So you can carry... You're not going to be able to carry that two-handed one, but you could carry a one-handed slashing weapon in your mouth and carry it securely for 3+ strength modifier rounds, or if it's a light weapon, 3+ strength modifier minutes.
For swimming through the aqueduct.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to accost a couple of guys to get their gear, we can just take their masks too. We don't need to go back for masks and
Well,
weapons.
I thought you guys weren't going to do that.
No, we weren't. I spent a fate point so that we could get the ones from the others we killed.
Yeah.
So
then why don't we just go back for our gear and go through the aqueducts? Hope we don't run into lions. Use the masks if we do.
I like going through the aqueduct. I might wear it as a disguise anyway.
It would be the sewer. The aqueducts would be above.
Or I'm sorry. Yep. Sewer. I might wear it as a disguise anyhow, though. Just.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it. So we'll go back. Get our gear.
So then, Sir Isidore, your DR will be 10 then, instead of 5, while fighting in this regalia. And how do you guys wish to enter? Anything else you wish to prep, I guess, before you are heading in? Or are you doing it? And I guess the other question is, are you doing it this evening?
What if we check in on the status of his blade before we go in? How about that?
Okay.
It's been a moment since we checked in on that.
So if you get back, we're sort of at the Arab is elsewhere, and there are we can picture you guys getting back and kind of getting things laid out. Jamila and Gabal come in to your room where you were staying, and Gabal says, "And what is all this? Are you leaving so soon?" And Jamila says, "I think they leave with purpose, husband."
We have
an old friend to visit. We may not return.
I think it best we not.
Gabal turns to Jamila and says, "Wife, is this something I wish to have any knowledge of?" And she says, "No, dear husband, this is not something you wish to have any knowledge of." And he says, "Good then, good. Well, I hope you don't die."
I drink to your health.
Thanks.
And to you.
Thank you. Thank you for your hospitality, Gabal.
My gratitude to you both extends from this world into the next. Let's hope you spend more time in this one. Wife? And he kisses her hand and leaves. And she says this, and she places down what would it be? It would be, I think it is a small brass tin with a crystal or blown glass cover to it, and within there is a stone, and there is a slight indentation to this, and there is an unusual character to the stone in there. It is a crystal of some kind. Jamila says to you, Sir Isidore, Noam had prepared this. He said this would assist. He said it would show you to God's room. And she looks at you like, does that mean something to you?
It does, indeed. It should be very helpful.
She leaves that with you. It appears you, unless you are entering the employ of a Stygian, I sense there is deception at foot.
Yes, we think it best.
And if deception fails, violence?
Most certainly.
Then perhaps, and she snaps her fingers, and a servant comes in with a long, lacquered box. This box is long and relatively narrow compared to its extreme length. They set down the box, braced up by two smaller tables, and opens it up. And Hakon, from this day until your doom reaches you, you will never see a great sword as fine as the one that has just been presented to you. At least not one that will exceed its beauty, because you have a newly forged Akbatanian greatsword. Akbatanian steel generally gives two advantages. One is, let me see here, it grants a +1 to hit, unlike any other, any comparable weapon made with more common steel.
How do you spell Akbatanian?
AKBITANAN. Akbatanan, I guess, is the pronunciation. Anna was correcting me on it. Thank you, Anna. What a sweetie. And the greatsword. It has basically the same stats as yours, but it has 2 more armor piercing, so your AP is now an 11.
Wow. And you said it does more damage?
Same damage, +1 to hit, but its hardness is... Where is it here? Greatsword, there we go. Yeah, same damage. Its armor piercing is 2 higher than what is on there. It'll be 6 in total. And the hardness is 15 as opposed to 10. And the hit points are 20 as opposed to 10. So it'd be extraordinarily hard to sunder a sword of Akbatan steel. Akbatanan. All right, sweetie. Anna's very excited for you.
Anna is a proud supporter of Conan games.
Absolutely. What she's saying over and over again, crom, 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 crom. So, what would you guys like to do, or anything you wish to do before we leave Gabal's home? Gabal and Jamila.
Do we need to
home.
paint like? Do we need to paint like black marks across my body so that I'm less obviously northern? That'd be a great idea.
Yeah, wouldn't hurt. I will don the disguise, just in the event that we are caught or something like that. I think we could try to play it off for a moment at least.
Okay. Would you like it to not ruin your disguise? Do you want Hakon to carry your shield strapped across his back then, or?
Yes, that if he doesn't mind, that would help sell it.
That work for you, Hakon?
Yep.
Okay. So then, evening falls in Akbatana, and you guys head off in the direction of, where is it here? Woof. The Tower of Tut-Haman. When you reach the edge, now I guess, when do you wish to drop down into the sewers and try to navigate? Is it right near there to try and get as close as you can?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, out of the direct view of the place, maybe down just a little bit down the street so that we're not on the ground right outside the wall, but fairly close by.
Okay. So then, why don't you give us, once again, Sir Isidore, give us a knowledge local check, and Hakon, give us a hide check, please. Let's see how well... Okay, that's +2 from Sir Isidore's knowledge. And you'll get +2 to your hide check there, Hakon. 18, pretty good. Okay. So, you guys make your way, Hakon wearing heavy robes to conceal yourself and all your weaponry. Sir Isidore dressed like a Stygian warrior. You are undisturbed as you make your way through the streets and reaching this place in the shadow of the Sorcerer's Tower. You pry open one of the entrances to the sewer and both drop down to the winding labyrinth that is the Akbatana sewer system. It will take some care to make your way there, but fortunately with your incredible survival bonus, Hakon, we're not going to make you make a roll for getting lost. You have easily managed to navigate your way through. But that is because it's easy to reach a point where someone has sealed the entrance. There is a gate locked. Neither of you, I think, have any disabled device training. Neither of you are thieves, truly. But you can use might to try and just bust this lock open, or you might try and damage it with, say, a sword of Akbatana steel.
I'm going to try to... Let's try to pull on it first.
Okay.
Because hammering it with my sword will pick up a whole pile of noise.
Yep. Why don't you give us a strength check, please?
Is there a way to do that on the sheet? I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so. Actually, I shouldn't say I really don't know. Let me double check something. I'm going to see if there's any other modifier here. Break checks are always the kind of frustrating.
I'd like to do a Ben Boss lift gates roll, please.
You know,
Anna says she likes references to 2E.
Definitely. Yeah, go right ahead and give us your strength bonus is 1d4. Give us a 1d20 plus 4 roll, please. $18. That is good. It is not quite good enough. And what I'll tell you is that if
we both get in there and pull on it, do you think we could? Did I feel it kind of moving a little bit? Maybe I could move over and Sir Isidore helps me.
I don't I mean, if you're both, there's two ways. I was picturing the way you described it was, are you grabbing and trying to break the lock? If you're both kind of grabbing the gate and trying to yank it open, then I'd let you both give a try.
Yeah,
sure.
So Sir Isidore, 1d20 plus 3, DC 10. Yes, on the nose. Plus 2, so 1d20 plus 6, please, Hakon. It breaks.
Yeah.
And you guys are able to make your way in.
But quieter than smashing it open.
How are you seeing down here? Do you have a torch?
Let me check my character sheet.
I don't think I've bothered putting any of that stuff down. This is stuff you could easily... If you knew you were going into the tower, into the sewers, you knew you would have that. So a lantern, if you wish to carry that, or a torch.
I think a lantern would be, the right way to go. And Sir Isidore could carry it.
Okay.
He's in costume.
When do you want your shield, my man?
Hopefully, I won't need it, but I'll come for it.
Okay.
Will not stray far.
Okay. Guys, I have good news. I think I'm justifying a purchase.
Sweet. I think I'm gonna pull one of those daggers out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a dagger in each hand. Well,
Okay.
Whenever Kev says he's justifying a purchase, I get scared.
Okay, so you two are navigating your way through here, trying best to... What is it you're looking for? Is it just like a sewer to lead that's... an exit to lead up into the courtyard, into the building itself?
I want to get in on the building itself at the lowest level we could find.
Okay. So you are making your way around. Would you each give us a listen check, please?
What does that crystal do?
Good
Have you tried it?
I have not. I should have that out in one hand and the torch in the other.
Okay, so if you pull it out, what you can see is that it is beginning to... The crystal is beginning to pull itself up from its place. And if you move it around, you see that the crystal moves to continue pushing in one direction. It's only a little fragment of it, so it kind of like rolls up it. But it's almost like a compass that will be pulling that thing in the direction. Hakon, as Sir Isidore is looking at this, you hear sloshing.
What's that?
Something may be down here.
Something in the water. Or sewage.
If you wish to make a spot check now that you've heard something, Hakon.
I'll happily make a spot check.
You're good to make a spot check.
Oh, you will.
So, what
Wow.
you see, Hakon, is it would be nigh impossible to see this. A single pair of enormous nostrils. Reptilian.
Didn't Kev mention Crocs twice before we started playing the first?
Yes, he did.
I think he did. Yeah, we should have stayed on land where the lions are.
Roman.
I'm sure I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's like, well, if you're ever fighting against a crocodile, I'm like, what? Why would we be fighting
Just in
against a
case.
crocodile?
Yeah, just in case.
So what you can see, let me see if I got an alligator one too. I think I normally name these things. Yeah, it's funny. I name them all crocodiles. I don't think I've ever named one an alligator. I guess I need to have more things set in the Florida panhandle. So, yeah, I have no alligators. All crocodiles. I got a whole bunch of crocodiles. I mean, not like owl bear lots, but lots nonetheless.
On a measure of cobalt to owlbear crocodiles, still relatively high.
I've used a fair amount of crocodiles, especially in these games. I've used a lot of giant crocodiles in relatively speaking, in Conan before. Okay. Yeah. So you can see this thing, its nostrils up, and you're like, Sir Isidore. Sir Isidore, now that he has brought it to your attention, you can give us a spot check at +20 if you'd like. Try and spot this thing. It is currently about maybe about 30 feet away from you and closing. You see it. Oh, yeah, 22. You see it as well. Now that he's pointed out to you, and it's from the spacing of the nostrils on this thing, it must be easily 30 feet long.
Mm.
These are not going to be very good. But I look around in the sewer. Is there even room to pull out a greatsword or a battle axe?
Fortunately, in this chamber, yes. It will be difficult going. If you don't know how deep the water is here, so it'll be a little awkward trying to fight from up. But what you've heard about these things is you certainly don't want to be pulled into the water. So, why don't we do this, guys? Let's keep it interesting. And roll some initiative.
Yeah. It's a croc-a-fight now.
Ooh, I rolled terrible initiative, though. 7. I think this one you do need to click on your tokens in order to roll initiative. I don't think it's automated, at least. That one. 6! Oh my goodness.
Wow. Kev rolls the first time he rolls initiative under like 20.
Yeah, I know.
And we both stink it up.
I appreciate you guys making me feel good about my initiative score, so I do. Anyone want to spend a fate point, or does the croc get to go first?
I don't know if I want to be flat-footed when a crocodile attacks.
You're aware of it. You would only be flat-footed if you were unaware of it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You both know that this thing is coming, so you would not be, and you would have like a tax opportunity and any kind of reaction.
I mean, it's almost like hacking, and unless we both went before it, and then we were both hit it, we're probably gonna get hit. So
yeah,
I'm thinking just hold on to fate for the moment.
Might need fate to survive.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, would each of you give us a D20 roll? And lower is what I'll be looking for. Hakon has himself in the way. So this thing drifts forward, and you realize that there's a little bit of ripples in the light, and I ask you to picture just how terrifying it would be to have that thing, the gap between its nostrils and its eyes that you're viewing in the sewer by the light of a single lantern. And this thing closes on you. And like the eruption of some alchemical bomb, the water suddenly throws itself up, drenching you in the filth that fills this sewer. And it tries to get you, Hakon. So I'm assuming you're dodging?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I need a 10 or higher to hit you.
Oh, at least you don't have a gang up bonus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Nat 1. So it snaps up at you, and Hakon, you're able to duck to the side. This huge maw snaps shut like some kind of enormous mechanical trap. You can almost hear the echoing of its vast cavernous mouth closing, and then it stays up, interposing its massive head between the two of you. Hakon, you're up next. What are you doing?
I'm going to stab it with a dagger.
Go right ahead. Now, this thing
Looks
has
probably...
natural DR, but it's not wearing armor. Are you planning on to the hilt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And I can't power attack and to the hilt, correct?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, power attack is a feat. The to the hilt is a maneuver. You can't do more than one maneuver in a round, but you can take advantage of your feats.
Okay, so I'm going to power attack.
Oh, let me see. I don't know if you can power attack with a light weapon, actually. Or let me double check.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Double check that.
Let's take a look here. Power attack. Here we go. You cannot add the bonus from a power attack to the damage dealt with a light weapon.
Okay, so then I'm not going to bother. I'll just keep my points to hit.
And you do the to the hilt?
To the hilt, yeah.
Okay, so if you're doing 2 attacks, both are light weapons, so you'll take a minus, no penalty actually, because of 2 weapon. You're a barbarian. All right, so the first one against its defense, that is just barely enough to hit. Go ahead and roll damage. It's 1d4 plus 4. And we're looking at the number on the dice. Actually, so, okay, this is a bit of a challenge with the daggers because you're not going to be able to actually roll higher on the dice than your particular attack bonus. You are so strong, you're able to kind of go back and forth with it. So, but here's what the upside is. With the maneuver, though, it is plus 1 damage. So there is an upside to the hilt. Like, if it doesn't get stuck in there, at least you do extra damage. So that is 9 points of damage. And the dagger, what did I say the DR was? DR2? No, DR1. So that's DR... So your AP 1, so your AP is 5 with this because of your strength, which means you actually do 9 points of damage to this and ignore its reptilian hide altogether. Go ahead with your second attack. Nat 20, baby! Double damage. This is going to to the hilt. So go ahead and roll 1d4 plus 4. And we'll... So that is 16 points of damage. Holy shit.
And I'll leave that one in.
And that one stays in, yeah. That's fucking awesome. Okay, minus... There you go. So you... Yeah, right behind the eye, and this thing is just like... Ah!
I need a shirt that says, I heart barbarians.
Yeah. All right, so you have one free hand, and you have one dagger still. Hakon. Sir Isidore, what are you doing?
I was gonna try the same thing with the to the hilt attack on the gator.
Absolutely. So you got a Ganada knife in one hand and a dagger in the other?
Well, I still have I have the lantern, so I think he'll just use his Ganada knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, much better chance. So go ahead and give us an attack roll.
Okay.
You could also come back. Ooh. Do you wish to fate point that?
Yes, do.
Okay.
I will.
Go right ahead. It's writhing around. Now, you would get a +1 gang up bonus because there's two of you, but unfortunately that is not quite enough to get in on it. It's writhing around. You're not able to get a solid hit with the Ganada knife. But speaking of solid hits, it is the Croc's turn. It's not pleased with you, Hakon.
Most people aren't.
Roll 1d4 damage because it's not going to pull it out. -3 more. And this thing is going to try and bite you. Let's see. It needs a 10 or higher. 10 on the nose. And damage is... Oh, boy. So you have 0 armor right now, so that's not going to make a difference. 14 points of damage.
Ow.
And I'm going to attempt a grapple as a free action, because it is crockin' fantastic. So your grapple DC, I think actually your grapple DC is listed on your character sheet, isn't it?
Grapple defense is 19.
19, okay. And I have +7 to grapple. So I need a 12 or higher to make a success on this. Oh, wait. Oh, and it doesn't get that +4 bullshit that you get with some versions of improved grapple. Let's see here. Nat 1! I'm not able to get a hold. So this thing chomps down on you, and you're like, and push its mighty jaws away, because it would have dragged you under and then started the roll. Hakon, what are you doing?
I think he's going to draw his war sword.
Okay. So you're going to...
So he'll probably have to switch hands with the dagger and just draw the war sword out. So
your war sword. Yeah, not, I was thinking your great sword. Yeah, okay,
no,
so...
because the great sword you said was too big to move around in here, right?
In this chamber, if it can fit a 35-foot croc in here, it can sure fit your fucking sword.
Okay, then you know what? I'm going to put my dagger in my mouth.
I love it!
And pull up the great sword.
I know someone else had requested a to the hilt for these sessions. I genuinely just wanted to bite steel. That's fucking awesome.
I want to bite the steel and the dagger, so I can do it for 7 minutes, which I'm sure is fine. Yeah. But let's swing the old great sword, and I'm going to power attack with this with a -4.
-4, okay. So go ahead. -4 is a 17, which is good enough. Go ahead and roll damage. +8 damage. and your DR or your armor piercing goes right through the leathery hide. 20 plus 8 is 28 damage.
Ooh.
What does it look like as with a single stroke of your Akbatana greatsword, you slay this ancient Stygian croc?
I think it's, he gets the croc snapping at him, and then he just gets it to bait over, and then it's just right in the neck, chops the head nearly off. It's like,
yeah, this thing kind of and slumps down into the water, and the filth is very quickly overwhelmed by the reddish blood leaking from this mortal wound.
Think it's got anything in its gut?
He says through gritted teeth with a dagger in his mouth.
Nothing we would want.
You think it's got anything in its gut? I have lots of props here. Lots of
defeating that ancient croc is definitely worth a fate point. Okay. Then, Sir Isidore, would you care to administer healing to your ally?
Yes, I will attempt to heal. Let's see.
The DC, 15 is what you needed.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Is that something you can roll?
Is that a fateable?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, okay. If you wish to.
Let me try.
Which is pretty much, well, not a guaranteed one, but yeah, because after each fight, 15, so 25, you're good to go. So then you recover. 10 minutes cleaning and sewing up wounds. You recover your con modifier plus your level, so that would be 7 points back. Hakon.
Okay. I have a sword I probably should have been holding during this fight. Just happens to be.
Oh, you have the
nice
Tannen blade.
The Atlantean sword. All right, then. What with this croc defeated? Oh, and Sir Isidore, you spent your fate point. That's why. Next, we'll be getting up into the building itself. So, making your way up. Hakon, you're a little... I mean, as far as being bit by a giant croc is concerned, this went about as well as it could be. You make your way into the tower. Why don't you guys choose... well, guys, tell me what you're going to do once you get up and you start seeing that piece of crystal guiding you in a specific direction.
Yeah, I think when we get up into the building, are there like torches in sconces and stuff, or? Yeah.
This is like interior decor by Hyborian IKEA. It looks very much like any other, sorcerer's tower that you can picture. There'll be guards walking around, but there will also be empty cavernous things. So we're going to determine, I think it'll be a move silent. Hiding is one thing to avoid them, but I think move silent to avoid attracting attention or being able to be aware of what is coming is going to be a more important one. So this strikes me as a move silent check.
Okay.
And do we want to? I think before we go in, Hakon's like, "Do you want your shield now? Put that lantern down."
Is there any lighting in?
It looks lit in the hallways beyond.
Then yes, this will be the time.
Okay. So you have that,
and then we're gonna have to be quiet.
So with the shield out, your move silent is a -2, Sir Isidore. But why don't you roll for assisting?
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
20! Look at that, though! So we'll give you a +3 to your roll, Hakon. So that gives you a 15.
Yeah, 15.
15. So then, let me check for the guards. The purchase you justified today, guys, was the 2nd edition Conan Bestiary of the Hyborian Age.
Nice.
Can you believe a giant croc wasn't in the core rulebook? My goodness. I mean, there was a
What
giant...
were they thinking?
I know.
Dear makers of future Conan products. Giant croc,
Monolith
lion.
Games.
Yes.
Dear Monolith Games, in your upcoming Conan game, please be sure to have stats for giant crocodiles. Signed, Kev. Okay.
They're like watching right now. Like, we should put that giant croc in. Kev seems to want it.
Look, we have not run GURPS Conan on here, and we've not run the TSR Conan games, but we've run extensive amounts of at least 2 other Conan games on here now. So I shouldn't say it's not extensive, like 2 of these, but I think there's going to be a lot of Mongoose Conan in our future. So let me check the... Oh, let's see here. The listen checks for these guys. Here we go. Guards!
So
Do you wish
the best way to not get hit by your opponent in combat is to have him bleeding to death on the ground.
That seems to be true for us.
All right. So for the... For the guards, you will be able to avoid them altogether with your move silently. For like the ones on the left there, the chump guards.
Yep.
For the sorcerer's elite,
We'll need to kill a few first.
that's actually likewise good enough.
Oh.
You guys rolled pretty well.
Oh, look at that.
So that is sufficient, and Sir Isidore, it leads you actually down into another part of the tower, seemingly separate from the sewer system. You come across a thick, oaken-sealed door. Would you like to try and break it down, or do you wish to go in search of a key for this? You really should have brought your friend Debango. Debango is very good at picking locks.
Well, George, where are you?
Actually, Sean was playing Debango.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Do you remember from the session, he kept using his name as like a cry for everything. Debango!
Ah, that sounds familiar. Is that a Friday night thing too?
I've referenced it a couple of times because I thought it was so funny in the one shot.
Quarry.
No, yeah, totally.
I think we could look for a key. Maybe if there are other guards walking around, maybe we can observe them a little bit.
Yeah. I think, why don't you give us a search check there, Sir Isidore?
Okay.
Let's see about looking around. So you actually find, I don't think you have, is it, let me see here, the skill list. I can't remember if pickpocket is an actual separate skill or not.
If it's not,
Sleight of hand is.
Okay.
if it's not, I have this maneuver called sudden strike.
Oh, right, if you sneak out of place?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you give us a hide check, Hakon?
It's like we can just wait for 10 minutes and
Yeah,
until
you
they're
got
totally
more than enough time to set up to make sure
an
you take...
ambush.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think it's +5 to hit, is that right?
+5 to attack rolls in the first round of combat if you surprise your opponents.
Yeah. So, why don't you tell us what it looks like as this guard is, you can picture it's a fairly larger area that has a bunch of, it's your, jailer's office that we've seen in every, medieval dungeon kind of area. This person seems to have control over the one, the access area to the point below.
Yeah. and I think it's Haken's just like in the dark, and you barely see him through the shadow. And in the movie version, the guy walks by, and then it's like he opens his eyes a little bit more. Not covered in mud or anything, but like, you know,
like... that ain't mud. So you open your eyes and we don't really see what happened to him. You have the key now, and making your way back down, you are able to access the sanctum for Tutankhamun. And as you open the area, I actually don't have a view of it, but I do have two things to show you. For one, what you can see is that there is really only one part of this fairly large room that seems to be lit. And it is a stone-built dais. And around the sides of the dais, there are a number of... Okay, get rid of that. There are a number of young girls who are chained to this at equidistant spaces, although you can see there appears to be a gap of one. And
she's at home, cozy with our friends.
Mm-hmm. They look very much like, where are we here? Either that, they are Aesir, or the Vanir, I think. It's Aesir and Vanir, right?
The red-haired and the blonde-haired.
Yeah, the two warring from Vanaheim and and Asgard.
Asgard.
Yeah. I think that's
I almost
right.
said Anaheim. Like, no,
Anaheim. Anna Bananaheim. So they are all tied up around there with the exception of one, but in the center stands a woman. Full headdress on like that. And she turns and she seems however disguised.
Are you on a different screen, Kev? Oh, okay, never mind.
Did it show up?
Yeah, now it's showed up.
Okay.
Just my slow internet.
That's okay. It has a sense of drama.
Like, what's going on? The mystique.
So as you walk in, she stands and seems to walk to the edge of where the light from the flickering torches are cast, and looks at you two. She does not leave the dais, though it seems as if there's no reason why she could not. There is no barrier, no wall, no chain holding her down. What do you guys do?
So do I sense she's seen through my disguise at this point?
Give us a sense motive. Let's see. Please. Yeah, it's hard to say. I think each of you feels that her eyes, those almost black eyes, are staring directly at you. There is no sound in here either, apart from the sound of the flames consuming the torches. Not even the children make any sound.
She the sorcerer.
Or, yeah, I'm not sure.
Sir Isidore, give us an Arcana check, please. So, for one, everyone has referred to Tutankhamun as a man. that does not necessarily restrict Tutankhamun from appearing as whatever they wish to appear as. But do you think that a sorcerer finding a guard in a place where they probably shouldn't be, and a northerner carrying an enormous Akbatana sword would
just stand there,
merit this low key of a greeting?
No. This is probably the god.
Yeah, that's probably more likely.
She looks at you, Hakon, as you say that, and her head goes up as such. And she says, in Nordheimer, to you, or at least you hear in your mind, Nordheimer, you have come to free me, and to free these things. And she gestures to the children. This is in your head only, Hakon.
Okay. He whispers. She asks if we've come to free her and the things around her. He'll speak in common tongue.
Here,
right?
it would be... It's not really... it could be Shemite, which is the local tongue, or... That's probably the closest, unless she... It's tough to tell what language. You kind of heard it in Nordheimer, so maybe this thing speaks Nordheimer as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you could spend if you wish to speak to this thing in Stygian, you could spend a fate point and tell us that you've been practicing. Yeah, you've been practicing your Stygian, and that's a language that Sir Isidore shares.
You know what? I think I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Because I want to speak Stygian. Yeah.
And what do you say to them?
So then he'll reply back in Stygian. Are you... Who are you?
She recoils. And you can hear, now it's both of you in your minds. And it is Nemedian that you hear this in, Sir Isidore. Why do you speak such a blasphemous tongue to me? I am the Princess Meshkehama. Sir Isidore, would you give us a history check, please? Yeah, one baby. You want to fate point that?
I'm going to use my last fate point for
nice. Meshkehama, I guess is the pronunciation. Yeah, you didn't know Meshkehama is an Acheronian name.
Acheron equals evil sorcerers. Okay, that's all we need to know.
Acheron is the ancient fallen empire. There is no living Acheronian. There has not been for 100 generations. You have come to free me. Come, break my chains, and I will reward you mightily.
Might be time to put that new sword to use.
Yes. The only thing we're freeing this day is the world from your corruption.
And you see her head kind of snaps up, as if hearing something. Why don't you each give us a listen check?
2 to
3.
1.
Jeez.
Oof. Hakon, you want to spend that last fate point? Okay. Oh fuck! Someone's coming down the stairs.
I duck against the wall.
To Hakon, you turn to Sir Isidore. The sorcerer comes!
The sorcerer comes. Hide.
And that is where we will leave our session. So, because we're already out of time.
Wow.
Upvote and share and like and comment if you want Kev to keep running this Conan.
A Princess of Shem Part 3. So, there'll be 1,000 XP for each of your characters. And
Are we still recording that?
yeah, I think, well, we had yet, you're starting, let me see, you're at 5th level, which means at 5th level, you are...
Was that 10,000?
I think that might be right.
I think you gave us a
Yeah, 10,000. 15,000 is where you reach level 6.
Huh. So we need to stretch this out a bit, Jamie. We can hit level 6.
Yeah.
So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us back in the Hyborian world for yet another session of Mongoose Publishing's outstanding Conan the Roleplaying Game. We're now just a little bit past this continuing celebration of its 20th anniversary of its release. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There is also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server. We have a channel there dedicated to, let's see here, this would be under the D&D 3.5 games channel, and channels dedicated to most other games we run on the channel, as well as a ton of other great things like finding a group, or virtual tabletop information, or GM discussion, or whatever. There's a ton of great people over there. It's a really lovely community that's built up over the years, and you are more than welcome to join us over there. There is also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America, like Mongoose's Conan. Let's see here. They have not only a terrific selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, and if in their extensive catalog they do not have something in stock that you're looking for, you can put it on a want list, and they will send you an email when it comes in, and you can pick it up at your leisure. There is also a link down below. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code FALLMUSER, all caps, all one word. It's listed in the description of the video, and you will save yourself 10% in your purchase. And if you're listening to this after, I'm telling the man, if you're listening to this after January 15th, 2024, then come to one of our more recent videos and you will get the current discount code there. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages, which is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts in a bunch of different crisis places right now. You can learn all about that by following the link, and any donations made through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart Hyborian heroes. I'm so glad we got a chance to come back to this again. I absolutely fucking love this game. It's so good. And you guys did such a fucking great job of playing these characters. That is so much fun to run this for you. So thank you very much for playing, Dave and Jamie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kev. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Then it sounds like we will be back in the Hyborian world. It's sometime in the near future, but until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our Hyborian heroes are encountering on their efforts to just try and find some dark knowledge. I mean, how hard can that be? And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, happy gaming, and Happy New Year.